So, okay, let me set this up. Let me set this up real quick. So, y'all remember we went over the Tim live where he was talking to Young Guru and some really like just mad music artists about his intentions with using AI and music and everything like that. Well, he did a follow-up, right? He did a follow-up and he brought up other really dope individuals who use AI. And one, I was like, hold on, is that the homie real quick? Hold on. Wait, so let me play this real quick. Let me make this Hugie. She like, right, hold up. She like right there. She right there. Hold on.
I like to say, you said pie. I like to say, sometimes we think we need a slice of a pie, but the world is a bakery and everybody can have their own pie, right? So if we think about abundance, we have to think from that standpoint. We've always had these revolutions, right? If you think back to the Jetsons, everything that they had, the flying cars, the telehealth.
First off, the fact that we have to go and like remember cartoons and seeing cartoons come to life, that's a whole other topic in itself. That's wild. I still think Simpsons are undefeated with like how they told the future, but we'll talk about that later.
The Apple Watch, everything that they had, we have right now. We thought that was just next level back then, right? Mm-hmm. So now at this stage, it's commonplace. A global team is either working on it or we got it right now. So the key is, who do we have to be to exist and thrive in these times? And that's why shout out to you, Tim, for leading this conversation, because everything looks stupid until it works, and then it's genius, right?
Oh,
First off, I wanted to add the value. I wanted to add the value first, and we're going to continue to add the value because I realize some of y'all not going to know my guest. Some of y'all may. But we're going to add value, and then you get to know her a little. But I wanted to add the bars because I saw that, and I was like, golly, hold on. Okay, if you get on a music producer's live stream, I guess you got to hit bars the way we do. So I get it. I understand it. But the topic of today, what's good with AI? What's the good, the bad, the ugly? What just happened? The gray area about the creative world. I want y'all to be in the chat right now, giving y'all perspective of what you think about. Let's start with just the Tim situation, right? Well, let's start with the Tim situation. But let me bring in my guest real quick. Hold on. And the lighting. And the lighting good.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Oh, good. Want to make sure.
What's happening?
Absolutely. How you feeling?
I can't complain. I can't complain. Look, before anything, what went wrong the last live that you were on is that you weren't introduced. You didn't say who you were or anything like that, okay? So we're going to do this live a little bit different, you know what I mean? I still want those same bars, though, okay? I just want to let you know that.
Facts,
I want them same bars.
You can't separate
right?
the two. You can't separate the
two. All right. So let the people, let me see if we get this. Yeah, let the people know.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Who we got? Who we got in Content Corner?
Hello, I am also part of the fam. Just so you know, I'm in the comments and in the lives as well. So this is not just me popping up and rolling through. I'm here, right? So, but my name is Cynthia Resper, and I am an AI strategist and consultant. And I just like to simplify AI so people can leverage it with their brilliance and dominate industries. I'm founder of the AI Builder Academy, BUILDHER, and the AI Execution Club. But the whole goal is for people to understand AI, of how to leverage it so they can dominate their spaces, right? So that's me. That's me in a nutshell as Cynthia Resper So Nicky, I live I live in the suburbs of social media, on LinkedIn. Okay. But I had an Airbnb over here in IG, in Facebook. So I'm unpacking some bags. I'm gonna be in IG a little bit more.
Listen, and roles are reverse. I'm trying to take LinkedIn a little bit serious. I'm trying to. It just be boring, dog. I
don't know. I think you can crush it over there.
Everybody keeps saying that, and we trying to figure this out.
It is a different crowd.
It
is,
is, and they
which is why I can't just copy paste from LinkedIn and put it on IG. That's the problem. Right.
Now that's a fact. Yeah. My captions on LinkedIn sound super professional. That's why I don't like it. Okay, super side note. I have ADHD. We're gonna have a lot of side note conversations, but first, in the chat, do me a favor. Welcome our guests. Drop some lions, some fires, your favorite emoji, make her feel loved and all that great stuff. But yeah, back to it. Like I don't like the super professional big word. It's weird. I'm trying to figure it out. So
I personally get, but that's like IG too. Everything has its thing, right? The whole carousel post, the long post. I'm like, ooh, brevity is not our friend over here in this land. But every platform has its thing.
No. Okay, so let's
nice over there. You get over there now.
We're gonna figure it out. I have to figure it out.
Contracts come from LinkedIn.
We're gonna talk about your big situation that you got tomorrow, okay? Because this person's a big time. She flying to. Whew, we'll talk about it. Anyways, okay, all right. So let me set up how I got introduced to this situation, right? So shout out to Kurt, right? Curtis King. He did a live, right, with Cuddy Fresh. And I know based off the AI artist situation that Tim was under a little bit of fire, right? I already knew that. However, all right. Let me bring this live up. Let me bring this live up. Hold on. Let me get you in the shout out to tech situations. Come on. Hold on. Let me get you in this. There we go. Bang. Okay. So
there we are. Bam.
All right. Boom. So if y'all don't know, Curtis King is an amazing individual, has background in producer, but now he just has an amazing, he's just an amazing voice for the culture, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna play it a little bit. I need your reaction, all right? We're gonna look at the original too, because I do believe, let's start here. We live in a clip nation, okay? Everything revolves around clips and no context, okay? So I'm kind of in the middle with this conversation. Off top, I'm gonna let y'all know why. But let's get some some context. Hold on.
One point in time, I was doing TikTok duets. If you don't know what that is, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's basically where you, as a producer, will post a video.
Did he do it already?
Working on a beat.
Here we go.
To some of your thoughts. This is Cuddy Fresh's music being used in the actual video, and this is on Timbaland's TikTok still.
So wait, let me talk. The guy, as you can see, K Fresh, that's Cuddy Fresh. The one in the bottom is Curtis King, who's hosting this conversation. And of course the guy in the middle is Timbaland, the legend himself.
But check it out.
I don't write verses for fun. We've been out working for crumbs. Till the seeds we plant ain't and pay my fees on my first of the month. Those who try to make believe that I don't deserve it is dumb. Just give me a beat that got some space to put words to the drums. Just give me the peace to find my place of encouragement.
I ain't gonna lie, this beginning is real slow. I'm sorry. Real slow. Just bear with us, okay? Bear with us. It's a little bit slow. But he put this into Suno. This is the output of Suno. Okay, and we've used Suno here plenty of times. We actually like Suno from a fun standpoint. But hold on.
I know everybody got some pain that no Percocets numb. Ask me for some tips, I know my work, just prefer to step one.
Jesus.
Gotta love yourself, that lets the birds are tough for deception. Hard for me to rest when success I prefer to get done.
Okay, so real quick, the beat where you heard the tag, that's what's up in question. Okay, that's what we're questioning. Now, before I show a little bit more, off top thoughts, off top, just off the clip.
Off the clip, it sounds very similar. It sounds very similar, for sure. While I was on the live, I didn't realize how magnanimous this situation was. Right? This is a moment in culture, a moment in AI history, a moment. There's this inflection point that we are right now that we need to handle it right. So just so everybody watching, I'm not here as a creative musician. I'm here as an educator, an AI strategist and consultant. And I believe that AI, you can't stop AI. AI is the future. But at the same time, I do believe that we have to walk very carefully in terms of crediting the artists for their original work. But that's a deeper conversation in terms of what that means. Because what did that mean with Photoshop? What did that mean when we went through all of these revolutions, right? What does that mean for music? What does that mean for movies? It doesn't stop here, right? So how we handle this is very important, but I believe that such an icon and a leader, he's the perfect person to do it. We just got to do it right.
Okay. So I like this positive. Go.
Yeah. Because, So, but what did you think? Hip hop had too, right? What did you think when you first heard the comparison? Now, I will say before the live, I didn't hear the comparison. I didn't see that before. That was like a real quick situation. But what were your thoughts when you first got in there?
So I watched the whole live, right? And I'm more. I go more not necessarily on my feelings, but clearly the originator, right? How did he feel? And we'll talk a little bit about it, but the fact that he wasn't notified, the fact that and I'm going to show the full beginning clip because they only showed the part, of course, the part that they wanted to show, right?
True.
But I do believe we're in this kind of gray area of what is remixing, what is completely copy and pasting, and what is original. So for me, when I first saw that, I was like, yikes, this is a great conversation. I'm a content creator first and foremost. So I was like, this is a great conversation. And I truly, in the whole mix of I understand the foundation of I read the book Steal Like an Artist. I understand you have to know the foundation part, but this is Tim. So, but okay. So let me go with what I saw. Okay. So here is the beginning, right? I want to give people context, and then we have the true conversation of did he, because I think it's more of a terms of service breach than anything else. So So check this out.
What's popping? So let me introduce you to Baby Timbo Suno, better known as Baby Timbo, right?
I'm first off, I'm mad he calls Suno Baby Timbo. I'm just mad about this part. Okay, this is.
Come on now, but don't you name ChatGPT?
I don't.
Don't you have a name?
I call it chat.
You don't?
I literally call it chat. Like
Listen.
shout out to the people in the chat. They're like, yo, you got to call it something else, right? And I'm like,
we got ChatGPT out here. Like I'm in session sometimes. You're like, yeah, I call mine this. So yeah.
Let's anyways.
So remember this right here.
I don't write verses for fun. We've been out working for crumbs. To the seeds we plant and pay my fees on the first of the month.
I feel like the rap was so.
Okay, so he knows point blank, and this was about like a year ago when he reacted to that. So he knew K Fresh. He knew the person that was rapping. The problem that I see is that he only acknowledged the rapper and not the producer. So let's keep going.
So powerful, right? So I came up with this. I put it in Baby Suno and I kind of prompted it a certain way. You don't really see all that. It's for me, for my eyes only. But check it out.
All right, we're not watching that full blown thing again. I can't do it. Hold on. Can I? Now here's my question. What is the difference between that and when he did something? Let me see if I can find it.
I came across this video with Krishan Karak and Jamal Bradley, and it was so touching. Like the end of her video where she was singing, I had this idea that I wanted to get out, so I took this video.
Yahweh, there's only one way and it's God's way. Took my baby to get blessed and they said it's for clout. I'ma do my best for me and mine, that's from here on out. Trying to change my life, but all these demons keep attacking me. Ran back to my ex, the world saying it's toxicity.
And I put it into Timbo Suno, Jarvis Suno, and we came up with something like this.
There's only one way, and it's God's way. Took my baby to get blessed, and they say it's the cloud. I'ma do my best for me and mine, that's from here on out. Trying to change my life, but all these demons keep attacking me. Ran back to my ex, the world saying it's toxic. Yahweh, there's only one way, and it's God's way.
Okay.
So now.
Go away. So.
Nah. I got two things to say.
Come on.
One, that was fire. I believe that was fire. I always say this. This is a famous quote now. This video that came out with Steve Bartlett, we got to have a deeper conversation because that was fire as well. But I always say AI is intended to be an extension of us, the amplification of our genius, not the extinction of us to wipe us out, right? It's to amplify the very best parts of us. So taking her raw vocals and putting it in Suno and crediting the artist, talking about how he was touched by that human creation that she made and then amplifying it. That to me was fire.
Yes.
Now, like you said, what's the difference in terms of if you take somebody else's stuff and you don't credit them and you take it as your own work, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, I think he addressed it on the live. He said more like an edit or what have you. So my thinking is like, so step aside from music for a minute. What about when we rip a reel or rip a YouTube and we don't give credit to that person? And I'm not talking about remixing and the handle is there. I'm talking about straight taking it and putting your text back over it to block out what they had and make it yours. So what's the difference between those two things to me?
So, okay, so that brings in a whole deeper conversation because there has already been YouTubers. I think I'll find it where one of the most biggest tech creator, Marquez Brownlee, said, yo, AI is being trained off of my videos, right? And it goes now, if we look back, right? If we look back real quick, my man has been doing different remixes this whole time, right? Now, I'm not saying that he didn't steal it kind of situation. What I'm saying is he's been doing this remix thing, right? For years. Now, SUNO does have terms of services, okay? And it's very clear if you read them, which most of us don't, okay? Most of us don't. But all of a sudden, everybody became a reader this weekend, right? I ain't gonna hold you.
We got a hack for that. We need to read them though. Nowadays. We'll talk about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Listen, it says right here, it is very important that you only upload, post, and publish or display, like what he did, right? Submissions that you have rights to use, provided here under, and then talks about all the stuff, right? Mm-hmm. He did not, I repeat, he did not have permission, because we can go back to the Cuddy interview, in which I will, because I like to give all context. I don't want to ever be like Nicky's doing here, saying stuff like that. So you can hear from his mouth, live reaction.
Somebody like that, but then there's also a bit to have.
Hold on, let me bring it back.
What's your first reaction when you're seeing this video starting to circulate around?
Well, I didn't see it when it was circulating.
Oh, the shortened version, I should say, right? There's a shorter version that I believe that you posted on your Instagram as well.
Yeah, the homie Kaylin sent that to me. I wasn't even aware. Yeah, Kaylin texted me one night and was like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "Nah." And at the moment, I like, for real, I'm still having a time processing it. Like, something I told my lady, I was like, yo, like 19-year-old me is like, I can't believe this. Like, right. It's Timbaland. He's one of the greatest of all time. You know what I mean?
And a lot of us would feel like that in the beginning. Okay? A lot of us would feel like that in the beginning. But there's more.
So there's a level of excitement that I wanted to have from my music to even reach somebody like that. But then there's also a bit of frustration as a grown man, because it's like, you just saying my name could have went a long way for me. You know what I mean?
Let's keep going.
And quite frankly, it's upsetting to continue to be in these situations where I don't feel like I want to say it's the right thing to do, but I think there's a little sense of integrity that, like, you could have just, if you liked it that much, a little bit goes a long way for somebody like me. Like, my feet is still on the ground, bro. Like, I'm working for everything, and I'm not asking for much, but just that could have been enough. You know what I mean? So
the realistic part about this, right? Now, he posted the beat online. This is that gray area, right? Where it's like, is it really ours once it becomes on the public net, right?
Right.
Can anybody use it, right? If it was a smaller creator, would it get this much situation? Like, would it get this much backlash, right?
Absolutely not.
Now, I will say, I'm being very honest with this. Since Tim is a producer first, and these two people are producers, the level of integrity and almost expectation of, yo, look out for us. This is a very scary time. Look out for us is really all that's being asked, right? Now, granted, yes, he uploaded the joint without permission. But let's keep it a buck. Some of y'all uploading a whole bunch of books that don't
come on.
Like, we don't own it. We got a whole lot of course materials that we're uploading. There's a lot of things. But once again, with certain status, you have certain responsibility. And we actually look to Tim to see what he is doing. What we have to remember is that these are humans. Like, humans with a new toy. Creatives that are just like
exponential toy. Absolutely.
Right. But it's like, let me try everything, and my man is documenting everything, and that could be a good thing. And this is why this brings up a whole nother conversation, why people are scared of documenting the process, because you can get the backlash. You can get, see, it wasn't going to work, and this, that, and the third, and see, he was misusing AI this whole time. So this is the bad part about documenting the process. Okay?
Yep.
But all in all, the facts is he violated the terms of service, violated it off top. He should have acknowledged on that video, right, who the producer, where the beat came from. Because if it wasn't for that tag, it would be kind of up for question, right? But the same way we've been seeing these Studio Ghibli pics, these Boondock style pics and everything like that, and everybody loves them. But when we get to a high status producer and doing a remix of which he's been doing this whole time, because I didn't hear no backlash on Blueface Girlfriend. I ain't hear no backlash of that situation. Yep. But that's how I see it. Tim, you wrong, okay? You wrong for the simple fact that people question, are you training AI off of other people's music? And you just proved that. The part is where you can't deny that part. Right? In one of the lives, he said, nah, I have, I think it was either your live or the one before that, like, yo, I got a whole bunch of music, which we know he does. I'm uploading my stuff, but you just proved you uploaded a different producer stuff. And that's where it starts to get really, really gray to red, not even to yellow, just gray to red, because we don't know if K-Fresh wanted his music to be in AI, wanted it to be in these different models. And we actually take away that permission when we do it ourselves, right? Once again, that's not to say a regular smegular person hasn't done that with books and courses and all of the articles. Like, let's keep it all the way a buck. And let's not
when you put it,
Go
to
ahead.
your point though, when you put it out here on social or you put it out on public platforms, it's up. Now, let me stop by saying creators should be credited for their work. But when we put it out on these social platforms, then we don't own it anyway, unfortunately. So, you know, with Suno, we was rocking, dang, was that a year ago? When you would play them at the end of the live all the time, we make up the songs.
Yeah.
If you say make this beat like Timbaland or make a Timbaland beat, it would deny it because you're putting the person's name in there and they can't go against their
facts.
You can't go against their terms and conditions. So if you said that, it wouldn't do that. You said, why is this blowing up? If a small creator did it, and they're probably doing it right now, why is this blowing up? It's the potential of what's going to come about from this. The potential of the revenue, potential of the notoriety, potential of the legal issues that's coming from this, right? So I think this is bigger than only, I don't want to say I'm glad this is happening, but I kind of am, because it needs to be addressed, because this is going to impact all industries, right? So by saying that, what does this look like for us to work with AI? And again, when we get to that Steve Bartlett video, that's a whole nother thing. But what does that look like for the music industry to work with it? Timbaland has such a large industry presence and is legendary. Who do we bring to the table to get the regulation side in there to protect the artists, but also educate that community? Because so when some people said, hey, he signed an AI artist, what does that even mean? Right? That's so people had questions. You train it on our stuff. Maybe not. Let's have that discussion. What does it mean to sign an AI artist? What is the upside of this? I was on a panel last week and they said, this guy, forgive me, I don't remember your name, but he said, I learned to focus on what's not what's wrong, but what's strong. Like, what can we make out of this, right? But at the same time, the law is not going to catch up fast enough. So the question is, who do we need to be to make sure that this works for humanity? You know what I'm saying? Who do we need to be? What do we need to learn? Who needs to speak up? What does Timbaland, what movement does he need to create to make sure that both parties are protected? To one, protect his legacy and where he came from, and also the people that support him as well. So the other thing is the heart of the matter. Yeah. I don't believe that Timbaland, he has no need to, in my humble opinion, he has no need to go get an Uber bag off of this beat, right? Facts. He getting royalties back from whatever, right? However long. So the heart of the matter is, did he intend, after doing 3 to 5 years of bringing indie artists in, listen to their music, did he intend to capitalize and monetize off of this beat? Yeah. Right? What was the intention of this? Was it something that's like, was it an oversight? Because I personally, and I don't know him personally, but I don't see it being, let me monetize this. I'm about to blow up. I'm about to run it up with this beat, right? When he has a catalog that spans decades and he is still building it, right? So I think even in this AI age, we got to get to the heart of the matter. And I got some other things about humanity in this whole thing. But yeah, I think that's my take on the matter.
So what's wild is, and I keep seeing it in the stream too, is like, did he monetize on it, right? Now, once again, that's a little shaky because it was done on a short form, and I think he did it on a stream, right? That goes back, like, shout out to T-Pain, right? Shout out to T-Pain. Yeah, T-Pain produces on his Twitch stream all the time. And I was watching one where he had Eric Thomas' voice while he was producing this beat, right? Yeah. Now, E didn't get paid from that or anything like that. Once again, that like those kind of different remixes, they don't necessarily get so much backlash compared to what's happening now. What I think is happening is, if he didn't announce that AI artist, we wouldn't be hearing about this. Off top, we would not be hearing about this.
I agree.
But because he ruffled some feathers on saying, I'm going to sign an AI artist, it caused the little issues. Now, what Tim did also was ruin the trust a bit in the music industry, because the big fear of, you have been, and I'll show you, you have been highlighting artists this whole time, right? For umpteen many years on your lives, this one right here, this one right here, like all of these, he's been putting on his platform new artists. Now the question is, are you taking this music that you are now putting on your platform, are you taking that and putting that on Suno? Now,
and you want to know why? Because of the trust, like you said, the trust being broken,
yeah,
and then also the education of people in AI. I don't want to say people like it's just general, but
yeah,
just as a whole, how does this AI thing work? What can and can't you do? What
right.
did and didn't you do, right? There's a reason that there's the uproar. It's kind of like the cart before the horse, because this came out, and then he also said on the live, like, I ain't even did nothing yet. It was just a headline, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it kind of sparked the conversation, but it's a necessary conversation. So I'm glad. I didn't realize how explosive it was, but the conversation needs to be had. Like, how do we guide this in a way that benefits the artist and not forget about AI? Because it ain't going nowhere. And if he doesn't do it, somebody gonna do it.
Yeah.
Trust and believe that. So why not a trusted icon in the industry who does it with integrity to bring a movement together to make it happen?
Yeah, I think for and shout out to like everybody going crazy in the chat. Shout out to chat, right? Yeah, they going in. They going in. I ain't mad at it. Once again, not saying what Tim did is good. Okay? Not saying that at all. Because he holds a responsibility. He holds that. Now,
sure,
there does have to be a responsibility of these platforms allowing that too, right? Where I could already get the argument, well, Tim is a part of Suno. Yes and no. I don't know how much of a part he is. I think he's just more like a brand ambassador, but I don't know. Yes and no. Once again, responsibilities.
I think like a strategist. Yeah, strategist of some sort, consultant. Yep.
Fair. But if we're talking about, like, this is an issue with AI. So I went into Perplexity, go, yo, how many people are suing OpenAI? Off top. Just off top, right? New York Times, 8 U.S. newspapers, the German musicians, various of artists, right? Remember, we said you could upload a whole book and situation. A potential one is that Studio Ghibli one, you know, the anime ones that we've always been seeing, right?
Yep.
This is why I say we're in this really gray area for creatives that even myself, being super pro AI, I think it's a great tool, but I think it's a great tool to understand your own authentic voice and not necessarily allow AI to create fully for you. This is one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of the AI agents and the automations to a point from a creative standpoint. From like the task situations, little small stuff, absolutely, right? But from a full-blown, hey, here's an idea and I'm going to create the whole thing for you in automation and post it and that's it. I feel like this is where it's extremely gray. I don't know. I would love your thoughts from, because you talk about AI from like everything, like everything.
Yeah.
So
operations, automations, agents, all of that. So
I want your take.
One of the things, yeah, for sure. One of the things that I talk about, so you know gentrification, right? When people move in and they make a neighborhood beautiful and then it pushes out the original residents and they can no longer afford to live there. Yeah. So I coined the term agentrification. That's when the agents coming through and they're displacing old mindsets, old business models, people that don't adopt AI. And that's what AI agents are doing. We've seen the layoffs. We've seen Amazon layoffs. We've seen Microsoft you've seen the infographic. So it's happening. But the question is, I keep going back to this, what type of skills and what type of people, skills we need to have, people we need to be to then innovate in this new era. So I love automations. Agents have their place, but I always say agents are moving in, but it's still your house. It's still your house. You set the rules. So they're moving into the neighborhood, but it's still your house. So we need the future. Microsoft came out with this thing. The future of AI is human and agents, right? I think it was the founder of, not Shopify, but basically he said, hey, before you ask me for head count, show me why AI can't do it. The second thing is the CEO said this is the last era where we will be managing all human employees, right? So this thing is not coming, it's here. So it's like, how do we manage that thing? I also believe that humans always need to be in the loop. Humans are the creator. We have the sauce. I will stand by that 10 toes down all the time. So AI is going to create, but we are the creators, not the creator, but the creators in the marketplace, right? So we have the sauce because humans are the dreamers. AI doesn't have a soul. AI can't dream. I have this thing called retail and retail value. Retail is like, you know how they said the basketball in the hands of Steph Curry, well, that ain't the quote, but the basketball in the hands of Steph Curry is different in my hands, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not shooting threes in the ramp, right?
Absolutely.
But I got that same 30. I got that same $30 basketball, right? But in his hands, that value is different than mine. So just like Suno, anybody can get a subscription to Suno. Suno in the hands of Timbaland is gonna be off the charts from what I can produce on Suno, right?
Yes.
So the goal is that retail value might be $24 a month. But the retail, RETELL, that retail value, I don't have the stories he has. I don't have the beat making skills he has. I don't have the insight into music that he has. That you buy things with currency, but that retail value is with consistency. So he got 30, 50, however many years from back in the day of building that thing. So it's going to be different. His output's going to be different. Your output from creativity, your creator output is going to be different than mine because this is only as good as what we put into the system, right?
Yeah.
So that retail value, your ability to tell stories, your ability to create is different than mine because of what you put in. But the agents, they coming. I mean, they already here. They here. So you hate them or like them, I don't know. When we get to that other video, it's already here. So the question is, how do we orchestrate that? We are going to a place where it's just humans managing AI agent teams. Like the world is going to look different. You know, we talked about the Jetsons and in that other clip. In the Jetsons, do you realize that artificial intelligence came out back in 1956 where like 9 men in a room said, this is artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Then six years came through. Here comes the Jetsons. Come on now. So now we got flying cars. 6 years. 6 years from when they said this is AI to the Jetsons. We got flying cars. We got Apple Watches. We got telehealth. We got all the things we thought were unimaginable. But now they're commonplace. Name one thing that's not either in process or here that we don't have. So the question is, the future, and I've said this before, the future always seems afar off until it's not. So we're in this moment right now where we'll look back on it. You know what I'm saying? So we looked at the Jetsons like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Now we're in that now where we'll look at it in the future, look back at it and be like, whoa. Right? So I guess my point is we have to figure out a way to creatively tap into this where we're using it and it's not using us. And it's more, like we talked about, is more than these tools.
Yeah.
Right? It's more, it's less about the tool level that we do need to use. Yeah. But then we got to go up here. Like, what's really happening? Because if we don't, if Timbaland's not doing what he's doing, somebody else is going to do it. And we're going to be, with our picket signs, fighting each other while somebody else is doing it. And we look up and get taken advantage of because we don't understand it. So we gotta tap into a way that we understand it and use it at the same time.
So I like that thought process because the input that we put to it is so crucial, what you said, from a creative standpoint. Now, can you touch, because the Steve, if y'all haven't seen that Stephen Bartlett interview, we're going to touch a little bit about it. They got supposedly the Godfather of AI, but the concerns is interesting, right? Y'all know I speak from a content standpoint, a creative standpoint. This man talks about like a whole power standpoint, like they may take us away or something. But I think so. My question for you, when we're talking about these AI agents, right? As a creative type style, right? Not just a regular CEO entrepreneur thing.
Right.
First step, what do you think a creative should do when it comes to AI agents?
Establish your voice. Train it. So we got all this training information. We talk about he training on my music. He training on my Okay, so even if you're not making music, you need to be training whatever AI you use on your voice. You need to train. We need to proactively train it. Right? And you talk about this a lot because it's this you got to set the context. AI has all these billions of data points, right? You ask it one thing, it's going to get pulled from all these billions of data points. But the key is putting it in a room. No. You in my space. This is my house. This is the content corner. This is how we do things here. So you train it in your voice. And that, we talk about all this training data. So it has to be trained on something. We have to intentionally do that. Otherwise, we come out with copy paste stuff that don't look like us. Now, this is the thing. And again, it's in that video. It's going to be so much sameness. I don't know if that's a word. So much sameness out here on these internet streets where we have all the baby podcasts. We got all the Pixar characters. We got all the Ghibli. And that's all you see. You go on LinkedIn, you see all of the carousels. How do you establish yourself as being different? When
wait. Stay right there. Stay right there. Hold on. Because agreed. Let's stay there.
Yeah.
You got to be different. But the problem that I see is the second that you became different, it just got that much easier to copy that part. Right? Now, granted, I do believe, I'm a believer. So ideas will come regardless, right? If we figured out a style, we're going to figure out another style. However, I do believe that though AI is a good thing from reducing burnout, I do believe at the same point that it could increase burnout for high level creators, right? Because it's very easy, and I've done it, to where I see a style and I'm like, oh, screenshot, give me the prompt for that so I can manipulate it, so I can have my own image in some way, shape, or form. We could do that super easy. However, the originator is now going to be F you, Nicky. Now I have to think about a whole nother situation.
Right.
And this is starting to get an issue, right? So like speak on that point, because I am a huge advocate of, let me find the tools to help reduce burnout as a creator. But once we get to that, because now we're talking about high performing creators, right? I'm not talking about the average joints, but those people who are like innovators and figuring out different styles. Now, as we reduce the burnout for average people, we're increasing. I say increasing. What the hell was that? Increasing, right?
Yeah.
The burnout for high performing creators who we've looked up to this whole time. So yeah, I want your take. I wanted to interrupt because that was hard. That was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that was the heartbeat, right? Yeah. So I think it's going to be easier to create. And that's the iterative process of AI. It's getting easier and easier. So the things that we talk about, I don't even think prompting is going to be a thing.
Okay.
Right. We're learning prompting, and I don't think it's a lost art. I don't think it's a waste of time. But we are going to get to a point where we speak. It's training us to ask better questions, right? But we're gonna get to a time where we speak and the thing happens,
Yeah.
which is wild, right?
Yeah.
When OpenAI came out with Operator, the man walking on the beach, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to have lunch with Nicky and XYZ, and they're gonna look up our schedules. It's gonna look up what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat, and then book it, and then tell us that it's reserve the table and book it, right?" So what we see now, it's gonna be exponentially different. So I always say that we need a learning system. You need a pattern, a routine, and that's why this is not shameless plug.
Come on.
AI Execution Club, because this is what I did. This is me. I'm in
Come
the
on,
AI space.
plug it. I'm cool.
Let me tell you. Listen. I was saved. I'm doing things. I'm in the AI space, right? But I'm saving. And I'm like, one Saturday I checked myself. I said, when you gonna use that? I do like you. I screenshot the prompt. I do that. When are you gonna use that? Right? So every Thursday at noon, we are rocking at the AI Execution Club, where you bring something that you saved and you work on it for 60 minutes. And with some dope people, we throw on some lo-fi music after we do some introductions and all of that, what you're gonna work on, and then you execute. Because the only way, man, I heard this term, Nicky, mental obesity.
The hell?
Mental.
I just lost weight. Now you want me to lose mental weight? What are we talking about? What are we doing? I can't do both.
Obesity.
I can't do both though.
Just like what you said. Let me screenshot this. It's overconsumption. If we don't do something with it, it's just making us feel more overwhelmed, right? So we have to do something with it. It's like, let me read 10 articles, 7 podcasts, and you do nothing with it. That's what leads. I didn't make up that term, but mental obesity is what it's about. But the we're moving to an age, listen, a hyper creativity. Yeah. So as soon as you create something, shoot, we can feel like K-Fresh. Oh man, you copied my prompt style. Yeah. Now we covered in prompts. So it's just a hyper creativity era where we have to have our lane. We train on our voice. We have a purpose. Just like I talked about the other day, you solve problems. You don't just look at all these shiny tools, right? And yeah, that's how you carve out your lane. And you have to take some time away. Let me tell you, that Steve Bartlett interview. This is good.
Let's go to it. There's a few.
Hold on.
There's a few parts. We're gonna start with the concerns we have about AI. Just start off there. Okay.
Can we touch with that human part though? Because it talks about what we were just talking about. That human part. At the end of the day, he said, "What would you change based on you being the godfather of AI?" He said, "I wish I would have spent more time with my wife." He said, "I wish I would have spent more time with my kids." So while we are in this rat race of AI, while we are worrying about who used my beat, which is a valid concern, I'm not diminishing that. He said, "I wish I would have spent more time with my human." So as this AI train keeps on ticking, this AI rocket, we have to make sure that we are staying human and connecting with people. So I see communities being important, that face-to-face being important, all the deep fake, you're not going to be able to tell what's real. Yeah. And it's going to be a mass misinformation era, and people are going to check out of the internet and be like, "You want to have lunch? Can I talk to you?" You know how adults be like, "I've been with this baby all day. Yeah. I want to talk to an adult. I've been with this deep fake all day. I've been with this chat GPT all day. I want to talk to a purpose. A purpose too. But I want to talk to a person." Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So I just had to lean into that because that hit me. I'm packing. I said, "Oh shoot." He said, "I would spend more time with my wife."
So I have a different side of that, because I can't blame AI for that. I can't blame it. Anybody who is trying to be great suffers from work-life balance, right? Facts. So we can't sit here and be like, because a basketball player, a high-performing basketball player can say that. You know what I mean? A high-performing entrepreneur can say the same thing. Like, man, the people who get like 7 divorces, you know what I mean? Damn. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I get that. but I do believe, and I covered it before, where because AI is allowing us to have our time back, we will have more time with people, right? We're going to actually value the community side of things, being a little bit more present for our family, being present for our friends, rekindling friendships and all that great stuff. Like, I do believe with AI, we're going to be able to see that. And the fact that, let's say, even though the concert tickets are crazy, Live Nation, what are y'all doing? Like, I don't even blame nobody else. Did that Travis Scott situation put you so in the hole that you have to upcharge everybody? That's a whole nother topic. Oh. I don't want to talk about it. But I'm just saying the live events and meetups and third walls and all that great stuff, we're going to see that increase because of, I don't know if this is AI or not, or I have this already on automation. What am I going to do? Like, that's more of that, right? But
I agree.
Let's get into, there's some certain parts. We're only going to cover a little bit of it because this is like an hour and 30.
You should check it out though. You should check it out.
Listen, let me get the link for y'all. This was a really, really good, semi-geeky, but not all the way geeky, which I appreciated, because some AI conversations I can't listen to. I can't. I be really loving AI, but I don't love AI that much. I promise you.
You got to do it on 2X. Put it in NotebookLM and summarize it.
Listen, they get real geeky. I'm like, all I care about is the content side. Give me the creative side, everything else about the world. But, okay. So this part, start off. Concerns we have about, let me make this bigger, actually. I don't care about the subs and all that stuff. Here we go.
What are the big concerns you have around safety of AI? If we were to list the top couple that are really front of mind and that we should be thinking about.
Can I have more than a couple?
Go ahead. I'll write them all down and we'll go through them.
Okay, first of all, I want to make a distinction between two completely different kinds of risk. There's risks that come from people misusing AI.
Yeah.
And that's most of the risks and all of the short-term risks. And then there's risks that come from AI getting super smart and deciding it doesn't need us.
Is that
now?
You want to keep going? You want to talk on that? Just off that? Do you want to talk on that?
Off that.
Okay.
That. I think that's a good starting point. Because we're both pro AI.
Yes.
We use it. We believe in its potential, its exponential power, right? We believe in the power for it to help us. However, there was a Good Morning America segment, I think it was, I saw, where he talked about there was a AI that coded something or removed some code so it wouldn't be shut down. I think they instructed it to shut itself down, and it refigured something where that would not happen. So it kind of overrode what the human was. And they had several stories with that. Yeah. So, at the same time, so pro AI, but I always say proceed with context, not with caution. Like, you're not scared of this thing, but understand what you're walking into. You're not putting your personal information in there. You are aware of what it can and can't do. Proceed with context, not with caution. But yeah, that take over the world thing. I used to always, I always say that AI is here for the extension of us, not the extinction of us. Then the Godfather of AI comes through and he says, yeah, it can take us over.
Listen.
So, this is why we have to be educated. Like, is it going to take us over and we're not sure what's going on in the world, right? We have to be active participants in what's going on. Either we are a leader, we're building it, we're talking about the legislation, we're understanding it, we're teaching to our kids, we're teaching to our community, the music community, the content community. Like, shout out to the Content Corner. You do this every Monday. Like, this is important. Come on now. this is important. This is not just let me just show up and see a new tool. This is like a community you're connected to, and you drop gems so people can understand the potential of AI, what it can and can't do, and why you need to be using it and not it using you. So, yeah.
So the fact that, you know, I'm gonna go movie style. The fact that we could have Terminator, you know what I mean? Because he did mention weapons and all and robots and everything later down the road, where that's a huge concern. But the fact that a computer, though we've had so many, like even from a small standpoint of a computer glitch, right? It's just not working the way we want it to. Even from small user cases of like, I input something and it gave me something completely different. Oh, that's what you meant? Hold on, let me switch. Like it already, no matter what, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, no matter what, if you continue to talk to it after a while, it kind of assumes what you want and it puts out this output and you're like, hold on, like, go back to the conversation. Where'd you get this from? And you're like, oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me fix that up. We see that from a small standpoint, from my examples, from like AI titles, from prompts, from content ideas. Like it may do that to, we don't know, as much as positive AI stuff I talk about, that we both talk about, we don't know what's happening in the background. Like they're building this whole Stargate situation. I don't know if you've seen that video where they show behind the scenes of this big computer situation in Texas, right? That's about to
shout out to Texas. I'm in Texas.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. But it's this big whole, like, I don't know, like it looked like a city. And it's literally called Stargate.
Oh, I did see a post about that. Yeah. I saw that.
So there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the background that we don't know. Like what we see in public is probably like 10 steps behind of what's really going on. So I'm not oblivious to it, right? I'm not sitting here, but as of right now, is it smarter than us? No, right? Can it do stuff without our permission? No, right? Well, depending on how you set up your AI agents, and that's a whole nother topic, right? But realistically, you have to still program that and set that up, right? Is it good enough to replace us? No, we are still superior. Our creativity is still needed. Our voice is still needed, right? But let's not be, let's say, blinded by this amazing tool, right? Let's just keep it completely realistic. If I am, and I'll use my brand for an example, if I'm trying to start a brand and I'm trying to figure out how I stand out, how the category, I can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you reference the book Positioning and ask me certain questions that will help me figure out my category and how I stand out? Like, ask me certain questions. That's the key part for me. I always ask me questions. Don't tell me. Maybe this is the Leo in me. Maybe it's the New Yorker in me. Don't tell me about me. You feel me? Like, God bless me with an amazing voice and gifts. Don't tell me about me, but guide me. You feel me? Guide, because I don't know everything, right? So
that's such a good point. That's such a good point, because, and I say this all the time, this is an invitation for us to think higher, right? If you use tools, like you said, copying and pasting, that's not contributing to our growth. And it's a fact. It's a scientific fact. The less we use our brains are degenerating, right? Facts. So if we are just like on autopilot, then our brain is getting less intelligent by the minute. So the way you just talked about using AI is important, because this is an invitation to think higher, to think critically. Like, what skills are going to be needed? We talk about who do we need to be. We need to think critically now. I mean, we always should have, but we need to think critically, strategically. How do I position these agents to maximize whatever? How do I create them? How do I put guardrails in them? How do I breathe new life into my creative process? Because I'm breathing into it. I'm not letting it breathe for me and putting me on a resuscitation situation. Right? It's not a copy paste. It's like, how do I put my thumbprint on my my content, on my business, on my, how do you stand out? That's how we were talking about before. That's such a good point, is that we have to think critically and intentionally to thrive in this it's bananas out here. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's bananas. We're in the space and we can get overwhelmed. So to your point earlier, is like, how do we avoid overwhelm? You use it, not it use you, really means what you just said. Okay, don't just be diarrhea of the mouth. Don't just give me a whole bunch of stuff. Like, let me guide you on what I need. Let me train you. Now you can coach me. You can coach me up after I tell you how I need to, how I need to be coached. So thinking critically, that's important. Don't be coming in here telling me dribble the ball. No, hold on. We playing football here, not basketball.
Random side note. Shout out to Wait a Minute Pause. I just love your name, dog. Every single time I saw it, I was like, yo, did I say something pause worthy?
Right.
What just happened? Okay. So
he in the chat too. He or she, they in the chat.
Yeah, no, they in the chat. You feel me? Okay, real quick. This may be going a little bit left, but I'll bring it back. You mentioned something. It's like there's a lot of tools, right? And that extremely can get overwhelming. Type 1 in the chat if you get overwhelmed by all the tools that are out. And I'm sorry if you get overwhelmed by some of my content. I'm just here to inform. I'm not telling y'all that you have to buy it, because I promise you don't want my bill. You don't want my subscription bill. But with that, and I know you know a whole list of things, a whole list. My question to you is, what is in your AI tech stack? What is the ones that you use every single
bag?
Yeah, man, because like I could list off a whole bunch, but I promise you I use Tree 4 on a regular. And that's it.
How do you avoid overwhelm? Get your tech stack, just like that. Just like Nicky said. This is how I see it. So you have this tech stack that you have, whatever that is, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then you explore and you learn outside of there. There is time for play. You do need to understand what's out there. Otherwise, you'll be in your bag and look up like, oh, y'all don't prompt no more. You can get outdated. 1 week in AI updates is like 10 years, like a decade, right? So you have your tech stack, whatever that is. I got some old faithfuls in mind. So ChatGPT. ChatGPT is always going to be in there, but I always advocate for going deeper in a tool. So building GPTs, how do you automate them? How do you train these things to work for me, right? So it can be that quick resource. Perplexity, I love for data. All day, I love Perplexity for data. I've been digging into, oh man, we got to talk about that too. I've been digging into Lovable, like no coding, and I did some things for the AI Execution Club.
Yeah, we messed with that a little while ago. It was free this weekend too.
It was. I missed it, but yeah.
Me too. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Lovable for sure. And then I just want to get some practical things. I use CapCut and caption some AI things in there as well. But also just the normal stuff, like for meetings and Otter and things like that kind of orchestrate and facilitate those menial tasks that you need. Getting into some agents too. Replit is another low and no code tool that I'm digging into. But really, I lean on ChatGPT, Perplexity. Which one am I forgetting? CapCut for sure.
Yeah.
And I know I'm forgetting two or so. But how many do I explore? Tons. They just didn't make it into the stack yet. Like my regular
Well, okay, so
situation.
what makes them stay in the stack? Like, and I think I struggle with this too, because I was like, okay, Lovable, fire. I have not touched it since that live. I haven't touched it since
I'm gonna
that
tell
live.
you why.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Can I tell you why? This
Go.
is why. Because you're a pro. And let me tell you how you're a pro. You take a pain point, an AI pro. You take a pain point, rewire it, and you optimize it with AI. If it's not solving a problem, then you don't need to be messing with it. So we have all these tools out here. If you start with the problem, then you get the tool that solves that problem, and then you go deeper into that problem till you solve it. If you start with the tools, you're like, oh, it can do this. It can do that. Oh, watch this. You can do that. And then you still have the same problem. So the reason you didn't go back to Lovable, because it's not solving a problem for you.
That's fair.
And you don't need to, right? Maybe you
fair.
don't need to spin up an app or something. So if it's not solving a problem, then you don't need, but you're aware that this is possible. I got you can spin up an app or something with a prompt, right?
Yeah.
So you know that. You just don't need that right now. And that's another way to avoid overwhelm. Why are you all over here in this land of you trying to understand it and go deep into it? If in fact, this is my tech stack, this is what I rock with, go explore those and play. So I had these categories. Get an AI tool for one of these three on a rotation. Something in the news, something you can use, and something that's your muse. I'm going to say that again. This is how you can get like a learning system. Something in the news. Pick something that's going on in the industry so you understand what AI is doing. So you're not taken off guard that there are robots walking around out here and answering the door, getting your Amazon packages. So what's happening in the news? Something you can use. What is solving a problem for you? Get this tool, solve the problem. And then something that's your muse. It should be fun. Like it don't have to just take your meeting minutes and do Chat GPT. If you always wanted to be an illustrator, shout out to clip art back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to come into the meetings like, with the curved words, like that's dope. So shout out, if you ever wanted to be a graphic artist, you always wanted to create, it's so easy to create now, right? So go create, do something fun. You wanted to write a book, write the book. If you wanted to create, I know it's touchy right now. If you wanted to create music, tap into Suno and create it. So something in the news, something you can use, and something that is your muse. And that is categories that you can put things in. So you're not like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. Get a system, get a routine, put them reps in. And I got acronyms for days and run those.
I see that. I'm like, I ain't even heard that before. That's different. I was like, I got a reason why I use it. You literally got categories. I'm like,
for sure.
Now I'm going through my tech stack. Like, does that fit all of? Am I missing something? Like, like
I think you got it.
Because the funny thing is like I feel like first and foremost, just the OG ChatGPT covers all of that for me. Off top, the way that I have set up task brings all the new updates for me. So every morning I have the latest social media stuff and I have the latest AI stuff already in email and a notification. Cool. Then when I'm talking about figuring out content strategy and brainstorming, I'm going through ChatGPT, right? Then if I want to just do pictures, right? If I do pictures, I do that in ChatGPT because I ain't gonna lie, Mid-Journey is fire. Mid-Journey is intimidating. I'm sorry.
You think
listen, because
it's different
because I'm a creative, right? So I know the detail that you have to put to get some of the most phenomenal output. Like, can it do off of a straight up, like how we talk to ChatGPT? Hey, I just want a lion on top of a blah, blah, blah. Facts. It could do that, right? but can it get it in the golden hour with a certain angle for the 35 millimeter lens with the 8K? Like, there's so many different details with Midjourney that I'm like, I don't have time for you yet. I need you, but I don't have time for you yet because I'm not that all the way detailed. So I have to go to ChatGPT to be like, hey,
make the prompt.
I'm going to tell you everything. You go, but then it goes based off, because this is where I need to have, and this is for anybody, a sense of knowledge and a sense of trust, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT gonna give you this long joint, right? Give you this long. I don't have patience to read all of it to be like, are you all the way right with exactly the details that I want? So then when I give it to Midjourney and it's like, nah, it's not really that. Then I got to go back and forth to where, okay, if I spend the time to get the knowledge of Midjourney and prompting, I won't have to rely on an outside situation. I could just build off of Mid. So that's, mind you, I'm different. I understand. The easiest way, ChatGPT or Gemini, hey, I want this picture. Boom, 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 boom. Give me a prompt. It does very well. I'm not going to lie.
Here's the thing. You remember when Midjourney was the only one. Well, not the only one. The top. Was in the top
the most decent.
ranking, right?
Yes.
So now it's become easier. This is a good example. Now in ChatGPT, that's your boo because you're like, oh, let me just do a prompt and it gets it. It gets you. You want the AI to get you, right?
Yeah.
That's key. And now it's easier. And that's where we're in. Like everything is going to become easier and easier. Like you had to do the UHD and 4K and all of that before in Midjourney. Now as you write a sentence, it's like, oh, that's dope. Now I just thought about this. Two things. One, NotebookLM. Don't sleep on that. I definitely use that. Sorry, NotebookLM. I did not name you originally, but
right. Hold on. Stay right there. Stay right there.
Yeah.
What do you? Because I find it like a cute, like once again, I'm super creative, like visually, right?
See,
I'm
this
visual,
is so good because I'm on the other side. Now I'm visual, but this is good.
Go.
So
tell me how you use it, because because I could get the same thing on 11 readers with you just reading certain things in a dope podcast vibe. So like, I don't know.
True. But it integrates with YouTube. It integrates with all those things, right? So you just drop a YouTube video in there or whatever. But I did a couple things with it. First, I put all of my stuff in there. I only put my 2 websites, my resume, and I said, and I forgot, I think I needed a bio. I uploaded that joint, listened to the podcast. Nicky, you'd have thought I was a celebrity. Now, shout out to the shout out to your YouTube channel. But before I made it to your YouTube channel,
come on,
I had a podcast of my own, and they said, yes, today we're talking about AI, and did the thing and says, yes, with the founder of the AI Execution Club, Cynthia Resper. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So it's one of those hype me up, one of them hype me up moments, right?
Yeah.
So I was then, put the information in there, but then I was able to just create my bio, short, long, whatever, from that, a fresh one. You know how you had an old copy paste. I need to update it. I update it. So I put it in there. So that was a good use case. But then this is another thing, and it's very relevant to here. I put the Luddites in there.
Oh God.
And I told you what I thought about them. So the Luddites, for those that are listening, and if you don't know, is a group of people in the 18th, 19th century who organized a movement to destroy the machines that were coming in. So these were artisans, these were crafters, these were apprentices, right? And they took these sledgehammers and axes or whatever, got this movement. When it got dark outside, they said, we're going to take them down, right? Because they were not against just the machines, but it was a threat to their livelihood and the craft that they studied for so long. Now, if you think about that now, this is where we are. Now, the Luddites, I'm not bashing them, but if you read up on them, it's not the fact that they just hated the machine. They're like, you are destroying the craft. you are destroying the craft that I worked X amount of years to get certified in, right? So think about Suno in the music industry and how that could be parallel to that. And maybe we can learn something from them there as well. So I put that in there and I did all of the information. Show me then you can ask it questions. You hear the podcast. Yeah, NotebookLM. Shout out Rochelle Hopkins. I hear you. That's my jam. And it's on your phone too. So
Listen,
yeah, I love it.
I like the fact that it can read everything from your Google Drive and YouTube and all that great stuff.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Notion baby. Okay. I'm a Notion baby. All right. Everything. I wish I could utilize Google Drive for what the amazing thing it is. Okay. However, all of my databases, all of my thoughts, all of that is in Notion. And they got Notion AI, and that thing be telling me about my whole life. Okay, that has been my second brain, to where even I don't even use Otter anymore, or I use Fireside or something like
Fireflies.
that. Yeah, Fireflies. I don't even know the name no more because I don't even use it. Look at that. Look at that. They
No
got
sponsorship
AI notes.
there.
Yeah. No, they low key, they undercharged anyways. We ain't gonna talk about that. But the AI notes over there, fire. Like the way that, and my whole team is in there. So I just put that thing on, turn it off, automatically tags them. We're good. And then I use it for a journaling standpoint. I just talk, and then it tells me the summary, and then I talk about like, yo, what am I missing? Nicky, you're just so undervaluing yourself. Okay, stop talking. Never mind. I don't want to talk to you no more, actually.
The biggest encourager, boy. Well, I mean, I guess we don't want the opposite. We don't want the opposite, though. You're trash. Now, this is what you need to...
No, I don't. I could go to my friends for that. I mean? Like, I could go I go on the internet for that. I'm Gucci, even though, low-key, all of y'all love me. I appreciate y'all.
Of course.
I appreciate y'all.
So the other thing real quick with NotebookLM is that you can reverse it and you say, I need to know something about it. So they have that discover thing now. So they have a discover button where you don't have to put it in the reverse, right? You say, you give me information on this topic, whatever's in my niche, my industry, whatever. We talked about this on the podcast challenge the other day as well. You could upload all your episodes, and it's YouTube. So it's not like you're downloading and uploading a video. Put all your season 1, if you do seasons, put all your season in there, and then sound like I said seasonings. Put all your seasons in there.
We hungry. It's all good.
Sazon. Put all the sazon in there, and then do a mind map to see and analyze where you've gone in this season. What journey did you take your audience on? And where do you need to go next? Let it inform you, right? So you can visually see, okay, we did this episode, these topics, this is what we brought out of it, right? And then where do we need to go next? So that's the other thing with using AI as a tool. I did see a comment in the chat where somebody said we need to stop saying that AI is a tool. Artificial intelligence as a whole, they said it's a framework. Artificial intelligence as a whole is a domain. But these tools are tools. So you are right. We do use them interchangeably, AI in terms of tools, but then artificial intelligence as a whole, that's a whole different umbrella of things. So
I'm going to keep saying AI is a tool.
I'm just saying. I just wanted to be respectful of the chat. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I hear what you're saying, but if I'm talking about Poppy AI, Notion, Opus, these are all tools that are AI. I'm just saying. And shout out, hold on, let me put that back up. Poppy AI is everything. Shout out to Poppy AI. Listen,
this episode.
Because this is a fact. This is a fact. But the same way that you use like NotebookLM with putting all the different episodes, I do that with Poppy AI in a more, once again, more visual way, right? Yes. So I'm able to create a group of, let's say when I had a podcast, hello.
This is a podcast. This is a
show. We're not even going to downgrade that to a podcast, okay? No, we calling it a show, okay? No offense to those people who have podcasts. I just believe all of y'all shows are shows. I believe that. But anyways, so you could make a group of all your podcast episodes, and then you can take your competitors and put them in a group, right? And be like, figure out the gaps. What have they said and what did I have said and what hasn't been said, right? So there's no, I'm not looking at it from a copying standpoint. I'm looking at, this is what I talk about on my regular situation. This is what they talk about. This is where the thought leaders are at. Now, what is the topics that haven't been necessarily touched that I can kill, right? And so Poppy AI is like, say less, because it understands my tone too. Say less. Like, here is everything that you want. The biggest thing, low key, has been that feedback loop, right? Where I put my video and the analytics and I go, all right, dog, this did horrible, right? Side note, please go check my last Friday video. Well, actually, Sunday. Check my Sunday video. Everybody in the chat put P for promise because we did something new. I showed like behind the scenes as an introvert, gave some AI tips, but definitely some more behind the scenes. And y'all, the YouTube algorithm is like, it's not really about AI, so I ain't going to really show y'all nothing. So after this, just put P in the chat, promise that you be like, Nikki, I didn't even know you dropped it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's dope.
But
that was
but
after the BET Awards.
Yeah,
Shout
you
out
feel
to
me?
the BET from experience.
You feel me?
Hey.
I'm just saying. But I believe, like, from a content system standpoint, I feel the easiest tool, not because they y'all know I was going hard for them before the sponsor, right? They just know how hard I go for them. But
that's true.
The easiest tool from a content system standpoint, where I'm doing my newsletters off of it, my YouTube stuff, my hooks, quotes, everything is super easy because it's just a drag and drop, where on these other platforms besides NotebookLM, right, where you got to get it transcribed, you got to create a project or a custom GPT or an artifact or whatever the term on that particular platform may be. That's annoying. This is a lot.
Yeah. And you want to make it easier. I need to check. Now, I've heard of it because of you, but I need to check that out myself. And see, that's the thing with the different use cases. It solved a problem for you. You're not not that you're not feeling NotebookLM, but it doesn't solve the problem the way that Poppy AI does, right? So that's what I would say to anybody listening is don't get overwhelmed with all of the tools. Use what works for you. And there are hundreds of tools that come out every single week because it's getting easier to build. Use what works for you. Don't get overwhelmed. Pick something in each category, something in the news, something you can use, and something that's your muse. And you'll lock it down.
These bars, dog. These bars. Now I need to come up with some like
He's so silly.
Let me put that hold on.
That's
what you
did. How many people we got? Well, yeah.
No, I got you.
Blame it on my background.
No. Shout out to the 130 some people we got on the live. Come on, shout out to y'all. Y'all killing. Okay, so let's go back to the tools real quick because y'all know I gotta add value. And then I think I found another video about the Tim situation that I gotta bring up. But so wait for that.
I think we should also talk about how people feeling about AI too, in the midst of that video in terms of taking over the world.
Oh, listen, we could do that. We could do that for sure. Actually, let me see if I can pull up the video real quick. Well, this is gonna be a randomness. Hold on.
Because while she's doing that, y'all know that they're like robots being trained. I don't know if y'all have seen those videos. Robots being trained to like live in your house and help you wash the dishes and answer your door. And,
that's a fact.
You know, Elon had his doing calisthenics, doing sprint. and there was somebody in the chat that said, can y'all make them fightable? Like, why do they have to be human size, 6'2"? Make them like 4'1", in case something go down. You know what I'm saying? Why they gotta be 6'2" and working out? So
listen. All right, let's see what this is. There's like 2 of them. So let's see what this is talking about. Oh, wait. You don't want to play?
yes, oh, that was the guy. That was the guy.
Wait, why you don't want to play?
And pay my fees on the first of the
Let's start on again. Come on.
This video's about a year old, but what you're gonna see is 2 artists collaborating.
I don't write verses for fun. We've been out working for crumbs. To the seeds we plant and pay my fees on the first of the month.
And now what you're gonna see is those same 2 artists get their music ripped from the internet and pushed into an AI system that ironically has been trained on copyrighted music.
I'll tell you, yeah, we know that there are some copyrighted works in our training data. That's not illegal.
Now what you're seeing is a brand new song that Timbaland does not have to give credit to.
I don't write verses for fun. We've been out working for crumbs.
This is, in a sense, plagiarism.
Me and Baby Timbo.
I know it feels like I'm beating a dead horse, but I just want to make it clear, this isn't my sentiment. This is what they're saying.
But I think what Timbaland's doing with the AI thing is like, he's figured out a tool. It's a tool. It could do some incredible things.
Somebody would say, if you put all that effort into AI, why not put it into an artist?
Artists sometimes talk back.
See, they don't want to just control the financial systems for artists. They want to control what it means to be an artist. Who am I kidding? It's not just musicians. It's not just videographers. It's not just graphic designers. It's every art form being threatened by commodification. Our art is not a commodity. The value is in the effort that it takes to create it. If you start giving your creations to AI, then what? If you start giving up your means to control to these labels and these managers who want an artist that doesn't talk back, then what?
I mean,
yeah.
That's why we create software too. Like it's just a weird situation.
But listen, I always lean into like, okay, so I don't claim to know it all, but what's a solution? Like, how can we move forward with this? Nobody is mad, and I always say this, nobody is mad that we don't have the milkman anymore. Nobody's mad that somebody made the plane. You know, what we don't want is we have flying cars out here and we on the bus stop talking about, can I get a ride? You know what I'm saying? Or looking back, I feel like we're gonna be like, remember when we used to drive on the streets? You know what I'm saying? We flying in cars now. So the movement is coming. So how do we like move with it and leverage it? So what if there was a watermark for your voice? Samples are required to pay the artist and they get notified. How do we do that in the AI world? I think it just requires us to think differently. Just like students, they're gonna use AI. So you don't test them on just a flat copy paste output. How did you critically think, like you use AI? How did you critically think to get this paper? Show me your prompt. Show me how you used it to produce this, because that's going to be a way of life, right? So I think that's just an important point of this is how do we move together? What if every artist had an AI artist? And you're training it on your data. And there are some people of color, some Black LLMs that are being created. Use them to create an artist. You know what I'm saying? So you know what it's being trained on, and you're training it with your data, and that's your artist. He said, no, that's the grandma out there mad about the milk.
Right. So
I gotta go get my own milk now.
Right,
These kids out here.
Damn, I had a fine milkman too. You know what I mean? Like, baby, stop ordering from the internet. Like, bring back Jason. Like, So here, I always say, it's educate, acknowledge, compensate. Right?
Yeah.
There needs to be, and low key, because it's our culture doesn't understand the super geeky like AI talk. Like, Shout out to Connie. I know she's not on. Let me text her. Let me text her and be like, I'm about to talk about you. Hold on. I'm about to talk.
The S is for systems. The S is for systems. Shout out to Connie S. Falls.
Yeah. So, shout out to Connie because she'll be sending me all these different AI conferences. Like, yo, you gotta go there. Like, we gotta go, and I'm like, not interested. She's like, what? I'm like, not interested because it goes too geeky, right? I can't spend a whole day on the geekiness, right? I need, and then look for one or two like you that are just like, oh, she speaks my language, right? There needs to be more education from a high level, mid level, and beginner level of what AI is in all different industries. Right, from a creative standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a life standpoint, there needs to be
entertainment.
Yes, all of that. Like from, like I said, high, mid, beginner. There's not that at all, right? There's only a certain amount of voices, especially in the culture, that is speaking about AI on a regular basis. We happen to be two of them. Good for me. But that's one thing, right? Two, we understand that we're in this gray area where things are being taken for the foundation, right? For the training part of it. I do believe they need to quote more where this is coming from, right? They need, like, unless you're doing the web search or unless you're doing deep research, is not necessarily quoted of where this is necessarily coming from. So, and then from the standpoint of Tim, right, because that was the topic, just the acknowledgement of where all of this is coming from, because that's the biggest fear. The lack of transparency is where this fear and this not accepting of AI from majority, right? Like I was at the BET joint, right? And it didn't necessarily get covered like the entertainment side. It didn't necessarily get covered. It didn't, right? It didn't. It didn't get promoted. It didn't do much, right? The guy who I was on the panel with, Cliff, shout out to Cliff, he was like, this isn't my first time that happened. Because not many people are accepting of AI, right? And so they know they need to talk about it, but they don't need to make it super mainstream because it's such a sensitive topic, right?
Wow.
Which is...
That's how you get left behind. That's the recipe to get left behind.
That is all the way a fact. But because there isn't necessarily acknowledgement, there's no, and I'm not big necessarily on regulations, but there needs to be at a certain point to just make it fair, right? I'm a creator's girl, right? Like, so I'm all on the side of K Fresh. I'm all on the side of Curtis King and all of that, right? Like any artist that is being taken advantage of with this whole AI thing, and because it's a gray area, people are allowed to do whatever they want. I fully think that's wrong. There has to be a level of compensation at a certain point. Like we're already paying subscriptions, right? If I knew, and not many people will agree with this, if I knew, yo, an extra $5, $10 so we could pay the people right, I'm for it. Or extra $5, $10, $20, whatever it may be, like how most people do, and you're able to use these features that is going to allow you to use the foundation of these particular artists, and then that's going out to those artists. Now that's going to be a minute, right? Because we're just figuring out what AI can do. Like we went from that ugly Will Smith spaghetti joint, That was horrible. That was so
That was
bad.
horrible.
Let me
That
see if I
was.
can find how horrible that was.
That was wretched.
Yeah, Will
Yes.
Smith eating spaghetti is
But while you're
disgusting.
doing that, think about how YouTube came about. I remember being at a concert. We brought somebody in, and there was a time where there's no recording, no cameras, don't do this, don't do that. And it's like, no, we want you to record. We want you to help market what's going on here, right? And then there was, even when Napster came out and YouTube and streaming, and I know that I'm not a musician, but I know that there's an issue with the amount of revenue and cut they get from streaming that musicians and creatives get from that. So I'm not saying that this is the solution, but every evolution has had this point of tension. So how do we relieve that tension? And it's not just, I can't believe you did that. It's more, how can we do this? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Shout out to Connie who's in the building.
Hey.
Everybody say hi to Connie. Connie, I was talking about you, how you always want me to go to these AI conferences, and I'm like, nah, because they're boring.
Nicky.
They're boring.
Nah, Nicky.
What?
Nicky.
Well, besides where you're going, is different.
Listen, I know, but listen, this is why you should do your own. We should do our own. Come on. When there is a gap, come on, CJ talk about it. When there is a gap,
I see where you're going with this.
You feel the gap. When there is a gap, you feel it. There is a need, an urgent need to educate our culture and our community on AI. And most people are feeling it like you. They may be at a chat GPT level, or they're feeling like it's too boring. It's not applicable to me. Every time I speak, I ask, are you new, novice, or next level? How are you feeling? Or you don't even touch it at all. And it's always somebody at all ends of the spectrum, but guaranteed there's always some zeros in the crowd. So if they're all boring, let's light it up. Let's light it up.
Connie, you can leave at any moment. At this moment, you can go. Okay, you can go.
I turned it back around. I've turned it back around on you.
Listen, we'll figure that out. We may have to test that out. We'll do one Monday of a back and forth situation. This could have been like just the pre-party. You feel me? This could be the pre-party.
Facts.
I'm not saying I'm not opposed, but when an introvert hears run your own event, that give me a minute. I'm home for a whole month because I went outside for 2 days. Okay.
Right. The people need more Nicky. People need more Nicky.
I went outside for 2 days. I'm home for a whole month. And then I gotta go to InvestFest. Shout out to InvestFest.
Hey.
I gotta hide out. I gotta hide out until then.
You gotta recharge so you can be ready.
Look, here, Connie. You already know I have it on the calendar. We didn't even say a day, dog. Chill out. What are you doing?
It's on the planning calendar.
Type 3 is my favorite number. Type 3 if you think that's a good idea. Just type 3.
Come on, y'all. I'm in agreement. Come on.
Yeah. Don't do it just because she's really dope and she's been dropping a lot of fire on this. Don't do it just because of that. Off of that strength. That not fair.
Do we see some threes? Oh, I see Anna Cruz. Come on, we got 133 people on here.
We need more. We need more. Hold on, give it a minute.
Yes, we need more Nicky.
Listen, I hear y'all. Hear the threes come in. Hear the threes.
Come on. We got triple threes out here. Come on now.
While y'all do the threes, I mean, let's just look at how far AI has come. Okay, let's just look real quick. Hold on.
That was so gross.
I'm not.
So gross.
That's wild.
So gross.
That's wild work. That's absolutely wild work. Hold on. What's this one? Will Smith eating 2023. First off, why they do Will Smith like that? Like why? Like does he like spaghetti? Why is he in the spaghetti? Can somebody explain this to me? Why is he in? Did y'all see the? I'm not rewinding it, but did y'all see that? I'm just.
Yes.
What?
This is ridiculous. So nasty. That make you go on a diet.
But okay, but can we stay? This is horrible. I shouldn't stop right there. Hold on. Let me stop at a. There's no place that I can stop. There's no. This man is in a bath of spaghetti and meatballs. This is so what? Okay. Oh my God.
That's so gross.
Okay.
That's
okay.
so gross.
Here we go. 2024. I really
At
think
least
that
it
was
half
him.
looked like him.
No, that was him. That's legit.
Okay.
No, that can't be. Wait, is it? I'm confused now.
Why you gotta be eating it so gross though? Like it's so nasty.
So here's my problem. Here's my problem, right? And this is the problem that I have with AI. Is even though that was nasty, do you know how many AI videos of Will Smith came out with the spaghetti thing? Yeah. Like once people see, same thing with the baby podcast, same thing with the Studio Ghibli. Like once people see, oh, that does numbers. Oh, let me go do that. Let me create that, right? It's nasty work. It's nasty.
It's a hamster. It's a, like you said before, it's like a hamster wheel. But we have to be in control of that. Just like you said, anybody can be a workaholic and this work-life balance enigma and all of those things. We have a system that Muse thing, or however you want to say it. Another one is AI Labs. You learn and produce something saucy. The humans are always.
I was about to ask. I was like, what other ones do you have? Because I got
many more.
She's like, because book.
That's how I learn and remember. I just keep going. But AI Labs, run those every day. Learn and produce something saucy, right? Humans are always the sauce. That's where that comes from. But then you also want to code. Just drop them all. Create. This is what AI does. It empowers us to create, optimize, dream, and execute. Create something. Optimize, you streamline something. Dream, you reimagine something. And you execute. Otherwise you get mentally obese, right? Come on.
There you go. I don't want to lose weight in my brain. But I will say, going back to that, right? Going back, shout out to 19 Keys. He was on the Breakfast Club like a year or two ago saying that we're in that era where we are in an information overload. Same thing that you're saying, but you just put fatness into it. But
and I didn't make that up. I'm not taking credit for it, but it hit me. I was like, ooh, mentally obese. Why?
Yeah.
But like, Gary Vee said something about just this information age where content, you know how you have Netflix, right? And it is this algorithm that feeds you based on what you like. Yeah. So I know even when I go into my account, shout out to my husband, I'll use his account because I was like, I don't use mine enough. Like it's not trained. So I'm gonna go into your account, right? So but the curation of content, that's how that's gonna be. And journalism and news and all these things will be coming at us. That is why it's gonna be important for us to disconnect. The other thing that he also said in that video was you're not gonna know what's real. So if I always look at AI stuff and my news feed is AI or tech and other things related to that and community, I'm going to think everybody else is seeing this, right? Your feed may look like whatever your feed is. And then as this thing is trained and it's giving you only what you want or only what you trained it to do, then you're going to think that the world is getting this news and then you're going to miss the other news that's out there. And at the same time, there'll be misinformation. You won't know what's real. So that's why we got to understand this thing. It's more than a tool and it's more than like a domain. This is like going to be a way of life. And I mentioned this the other day. As of 2023, it was like 70 million Americans are functionally illiterate. Can't read, can't write. So that affects healthcare. That affects jobs. That affects housing. That affects benefits, that affects how they navigate the world, right? So then if you lean in and you say, well, shoot, what's the AI literacy rate? And what is that going to do? How literate am I in AI? So that's why I just love what you do. Grew this channel from, oh man, I got 500 people. Now you at 35,000. Shout out.
Come on.
Put some fire emojis in the chat.
Come on. Shout out to the 130 people. Come on.
Yeah,
and the second channel, low key, everybody go to Content Corner clips. This is going to get clipped up. We got a lot of clips on this joint. This is going to get clipped up, going to be on the second channel. That's already monetized. Less than a month. We're going to talk about that too. Yeah, that's because of y'all. Appreciate y'all. And the Streamer University
and Poppy
video.
AI.
Yeah,
Poppy
facts. AI. And Poppy AI. Yes, because I got all the titles from there. I'm just saying. Look, shout out to the chat. Look. It's like, so are we planning this event?
Yes. Come on, Rochelle.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Connie already got it on the calendar. She already got it on the calendar.
Did she text me? Hold on. She literally just texted me. Guys, that's hilarious.
She don't play.
Oh, somebody did ask a question. Let me see if I find it. I think Marco asked it. Marco asked, how do we fight this when machines now powered by AI are replacing everything? Self-checkouts, tolls, thinking, as long as people value, hold on, let me bring that back. Yeah, I know I can't read that fast. Yeah, I'm wild. As long as people value ease over effort, automation will keep rising. You go first on this one.
Yeah. I don't think automation is a bad thing. It's like I said, it's an invitation to think higher. So if a machine, I don't subscribe to it doing your entire creative process and copy paste, but what's the difference between it and a VA or a content team that you've trained and you are controlling the output, right? Or you're controlling the inputs to create the output. Then that is a way you can automate that creative process where you're still in it because you deployed your expertise at scale. And the other thing is, if you don't, others will, and you won't scale, right? You'll get left behind. So I believe in automation. However, I do believe it's an invitation. So now we got to, like Nicky said, how she uses it, think critically, think strategically. And if you could be walking on the beach and say something and things are organized, come on, you make that lunch appointment. Who likes to coordinate schedules, right? Who likes to do those things? So you get that off your plate, and now you're thinking at a higher level for what you were created to be anyway. We are creative people. So if that is in operations, if that is in content, if that is in music, if that's in entertainment, these tools should empower us. I'm not saying that this is not without regulation. Laws are required. This is new. This is all new. We don't know where this is going. Quiet as kept. The Sam Altmans and the other people of the world, they don't know where it's going. They have more idea than we do, but they don't even know. And they've admitted that. So the key is, how do we tap in so it's just not this siloed effect of somebody over here knowing what's going on and then we're left behind. So it is ease. Now I do, I don't know why they not checking out at the at the stores, right? And then they wanted a tip. I think that was a big thing, like self-checkout. But now I gotta tip you. And then
this is a tip culture. We're just in tip culture. I'm like, yo, let me get avocado toast, no doubt. Tip me. Like, wait, what? I didn't even get the food yet.
Oh, somebody said this. They asked for a sauce or something, like some barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And then that'll be 75 cents. He's like, I gotta pull out my debit card to give you. So anyway, automations are here. I think it's an invitation for us to think higher. And it's all in how we use it. I value ease for sure, but that brain degeneration is real. Like when people retire, right? And they start doing nothing, they begin to pass away. But those active ones, I'm going to do a crossword puzzle. Let me get this Sudoku out or whatever, whatever they do, they keep their brain fresh and they're active and they're moving because, and there's been a study, even when it's, the kids, I think it was Coco Melon or something, and they're just watching it, it's programming. So when you just put everything on autopilot, so shout out to him for that question, your brain begins to degenerate and you start forgetting things and you're not as sharp. So that's why it's important, again, education. That's why we're going to do the event. I'm going to just put it out there. And is educating people on how we can use this and not
First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Listen.
Y'all name the conference in the chat. Name the conference in the chat.
Name the conference in the chat. This is not going to be Lions behavior. You are not creating a whole new thing in this thing. Look, I'll say this. I'll say this about the whole automation thing. You got another one? You heard ooh.
Well, I just saw something in the chat. Yeah, it says you don't use it, you lose it, which is so true. So you know that arthritis commercial, a body in motion stays in motion.
Yeah.
A business in motion stays in motion. A purpose in motion stays in motion. A brain in motion stays in motion, right? So just wanted to add, shout out to Shaz Vacation. I said your name wrong. Please forgive me. But yeah, for real, you don't use it, you lose it.
I'll say this: we've seen this time and time again, right? It's just in our age now, right? We've seen it with factories. Like there was so many people on the line, and now there's machines, right? And the same concerns that they had with these machines is what we have with AI, right? The only reason that this is so amplified now is that we have social media. It's the only real reason why this is as amplified, because everybody has a perspective. Everybody has the ability to press post. Everybody has the ability to comment under certain stories. So now what was probably the same feeling for the factory people, right, is the same feeling that we have with AI, just louder. So any type of transitions, I mean, shout out to all the admin people who went from typewriter to the computer and thought and some lost their jobs with that, right?
Yeah.
It's all about how do we keep ourselves evolving? And
correct.
Yes, we gonna complain, but at the same time, we still have to evolve as we complain. Okay? Things aren't right. This shouldn't happen. I don't know why we think it shouldn't happen. We were okay with other jobs and other sectors evolving until it affected us, right? I'm not all the way happy of somebody saying, hey, I don't necessarily need like a content strategist on my back end because I got ChatGPT, right? I can't necessarily be happy with that, but what I can do is understand the tool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can understand.
Shout out to the tools. Shout out to the tools.
You know what I mean? No shade. You know I love everybody in the chat, right? No shade. But I can understand the tool, be able to teach others to do better, and it keeps me relevant. Maybe my evolution wasn't necessarily to do it for others, but to teach others, right? I was already in that path already. So there is, when we're looking at, when there's a shift in our skills and a shift in what the career market needs, it's only a sign of where we're supposed to be going. We weren't necessarily meant to stay in that same section that our whole lives, right? Shout out to our parents and our grandparents who may had that in a smaller standpoint, but like I said, it wasn't amplified because one, certain things get erased from history books, and two, there wasn't a phone for everything that they did, okay? We are just a louder culture. We are a louder era where you're going to find out everything is wrong and everything that is right. But more of the negative will always outshine the positive, unfortunately. But as long as we evolve, I look at, since we were talking about music, I look at music artists the same way. They were brought in a certain kind of style, right? Then the times got younger, except for hip hop. Hip hop feels like it got older, but hip I swear, we're still listening to the same things, but that's not the point. That's not the point. But you had to evolve with the beats, with the style of rapping to be relevant, right? You do have your core people, right? There are going to be people, small amount of people who are still going to need your skills. If you don't know how to price that out right, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? But if we're looking at how everything else has evolved, they stayed relevant. Snoop Dogg is still relevant. Snoop Dogg is still relevant.
He stay relevant. He gonna be relevant now.
Right. And
Snoop
it's not,
Dogg will evolve.
He's one of the most famous rappers. Came out with an album, I don't know, a couple of months ago. I don't know the numbers that it did, but it didn't hurt his legacy because he stayed relevant in other ways. He's a huge investor, right? He's a huge spokesperson of a lot of things. There's different paths that if this rap thing doesn't work, if we look at athletes have a certain time frame and then they have to maneuver. It's the same thing. We're at a certain time frame where we may have to maneuver. That doesn't mean we're not valuable anymore. We just have to learn these different tools in order to amplify our next moves. That's my whole big thing. I'm like, I'm excited about AI, not necessarily because it's going to make life super easy, but the same way, and I'm big, and this is why I'm a little bit weary about the whole Tim thing, because AI takes what is already out there. From Still Like an Artist, we have to understand the foundation. So I'm going to want to learn from these different blueprints that I necessarily didn't have access to before. So I can look at how Jay-Z built his empire, but how the WWE story tells, and how J. Cole builds his community, and how do I put it all together to create a Nicky, right? Like a Nicky product or something like that. I couldn't do that before. But some people literally take one blueprint and that's it. Me, and what I hope other people do is like I take a little bit from here, I take a little bit from here, boom. Now some people may look at that and be like, how could you? And if I spend 19 million hours on YouTube, that's the same difference. You know what I mean?
That's right.
If they had a course on it in some of these universities, that's the same difference. They're studied these particular things and they put it in a book. And the person who was able to find that book, that's why majority of
may
people
or may not be quoted. May or may not be quoted. Everything, while you were talking, something came to mind. Everything is made from something.
That's a fact.
Now that sounds real simple, but what is original? We got to redefine creativity. What is original? What do you do? If we look at our processes, our creative processes, our content, what do you do that you didn't get some piece from somebody else? What in our lives right now did not come from something else? Whether that's decades ago, last year, last week, last minute, yesterday, in the coffee shop, what have you created that has not had a semblance of something else? Now, we are creative beings, right? So we create. However, if you look at your totality of everything that you do, what have you not gleaned, whether it's a coach, a mentor, a book, an artist, a catalog, whatever the case may be, what has not inspired your current reality?
Right.
And now right now in the age of hyper creativity is like everything is coming at you at once. And that's where that overwhelm comes from. Now, one thing I disagree with you on, not disagree.
Come on. I like disagreements. I'm
you like
Puerto Rican.
disagreements?
I like disagreements. Don't worry. Don't you're not hurting my feelings.
Got you. So from a tool standpoint, the reason that we do hear about it now more is definitely social media, definitely the information age. which is why, you know, when we were in high school, glad we didn't have cell phones back then, right? At least I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So everything couldn't be recorded. But also, when we talk about AI as a tool, money is a tool. In the wrong hands, it's an issue, right? In the wrong or bad actors, it's an issue. Guns are a tool. In the wrong hands, it's an issue. AI is a tool. In the wrong hands, it's an issue. But the difference here is the exponential power and how do I want to say this? The potential of detriment to humanity. So you shoot a bullet and somebody might catch some strays, right? There's some shards going around. But if with AI, the ability for it to proliferate and deploy at scale around the world and create nuclear weapons. And again, I'm pro AI, but the power is different than a bullet. A bullet is localized and maybe to an area. Money can be, you know, digital and kind of moved around. But AI on a global scale is different. So it's something that we have never seen before, which is one, why we got to be educated, and 2, participate, and 3, regulate. I just made that up right there. I'm not Jesse Jackson.
Come on. Come on.
But I'm saying all that to say that that's the reason is if the potential for it to have a global impact is so much bigger than a bullet or money or other things that we call tools.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
I want to address somebody in the chat. Shout out to Joseph. Said, when will man run out of
I know
the next new thing? I don't think that's possible. I'm sorry. Me personally, but like I believe in a higher power. I believe everything evolves, and he allows us to have the ability to evolve and come up with new things as that happens, right? That's just me. And then plus we're like, people are reproducing. Like we have new babies and all that great stuff. Like new ideas is gonna come with these new babies. You feel me? Like we may have to wait a few years, but
that's right.
Like I don't think man is ever going to, or humans. I'm not gonna just say man because shout out to my ladies. My ladies are gonna be like, Nikki, how you not representing us? Humans,
right?
Okay. We'll never run out of ideas because the same way somebody came up with AI and continued to make it better and better and better and better is going to be another human being that's going to be the opposite and create just organic ideas that can make people feel connected, right? Or there may be a different experience that we're not necessarily knowing because we're not exposed to it yet. So
yeah,
I'm going to say, I don't know what you want to say, but I'm going to say that.
No, I totally agree. I believe in God, and I believe that we will continue to evolve. And there is no stopping point. Just again, if we think about the Jetsons, if you were young enough to know that, notice I said young. If you think about them and we were just in awe, like, oh man, this is lit. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they talking robot. They can see people when they call them. All of that is old news now. So the things that we're living in right now will be old news. Oh man, Mid-Journey, old news. The putting Opus Clips was the biggest game in town. Yeah. Now it's like old news. If you can't do that, then what kind of video platform are you? Oh, you don't do captions, or you don't do like it's an evolution of innovation. These innovation cycles are just going to keep getting faster and faster and faster. And if you're not educated, you won't be able to keep up, and you will feel overwhelmed. Then you get left behind, and then the robots be coming getting your Amazon packages. I'm just kidding, but you know what I'm saying. So I
got a question. I got a question. I'm looking at the time. Damn, we've been talking for a minute. Hold on, you got to go. You got to. Okay, so.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you got. She going.
This was fun.
Listen, I've no like. If you want to say, I'm cool, but I want you to rest. You have a whole flight, which we're going to talk about. But
I will for sure.
There is a lot of like Me Too tools, a lot of like tools that are just copying some of the best tools out there, right? How do you feel about those tools? Like, how do I want to ask this truly? How do we know in your mind, how do you know if this is worth truly investing in with time and money? We kind of covered it, but there's a lot of copycat nows. Not necessarily just new tools. I'm just talking about the copycat ones, right? Are you one of those, like, if it can't beat this one, I ain't even bothering? Like, first impression type vibes? Because I know me, when I get certain brand deals and things like that coming into my email, I'm like, nope. You look like this person. You look like, if you can't beat 11 Labs, stop talking to me. Like, if you can't beat ChatGPT and Midjourney from the images standpoint, don't talk to me. Like, it's in that type of time. But how do you, like, do you have a measuring system? Do you have an acronym? What do you do for these Me Too duplicate joints?
That's funny. Yeah, like I said before, that tech stack is huge. So once you lock in on what works for you, you take that pain point, rewire it, optimize it, like, you got the system going. And the next pop, it's a squirrel over here, like, oh, look, I do that too. You evaluate it, like you said, with the budget, the time, and before all of that, can you beat, like, this is locked. Like, we locked in here. We locked in.
Yeah.
And you don't get introduced into this tech stack until you, and I do have a saying, Nicky.
Come on, I know. That's why I was like, do you have an acronym for that, dude? Come on.
It just came to me. I remembered what I say, but I say, don't take it for granted. You know how you say, don't take it for granted? Don't take it for granted. To get in this tech stack, I'm going to have to evaluate you, vet you, see what you can and can't do. And if you can't top my current squad, then you don't get in here. But now I'm aware that you exist, but you are now in the file for later tab as you evolve. Also, when you look at something, does it beat the features you have, but also can it grow with you? So say, for instance, it doesn't beat what you have in your current tech stack. You want to make sure that a tool can grow with you and they're continuously iterating. So if they don't have these things already kind of working in their process flows and they don't have AI plans and roadmaps, you don't need to waste your time, because this is a perfect segue to the shift that we talk about with AI tools and AI industry, period. But there's also the shiftiness. So if you look up builder.ai, that's a low and no code tool, just like Lovable, but you prompt it and then it will create your website, whatever. They went from a 1.5, I think it was 1.5 billion valuation, might have been 4.5. Don't get me wrong. Look it up. Fact check me. To bankrupt because they had 700 humans behind those prompts. So when you prompt and you think you are vibe coding, there was 700 American Indians, another type of AI, back there making your stuff. After they told the public, this is vibe coding. You put a prompt in, the machine does it. It was 700 American Indians doing the stuff. So that's why you got to evaluate things. How long this thing been around? Who's running this company? What features do they claim? Just don't take it for granted.
Okay. All right. One last question, and then I want to get into your trip real quick, right?
Okay. Okay.
Wow. Okay. How quick do you believe we will get to the one person $1 billion business with AI? I'll give you two. I'll give you two people.
That's a loaded question. So for those that don't know, Sam Altman, he was like, I got this group text. You know how you got a group chat with your friends? I got a group text with all these tech CEO friends, and they're betting on the first $1 billion company that is solo founded. They call it a unicorn company. And they said it's possible now because of AI and AI agents. And we see this with layoffs, right? I don't have the crystal ball, but I would say it's not a far off. because we're moving to a time where, again, it's going to be digital teams that we're managing. So who are we to lead these digital teams? We need to understand how they work, how they operate, who built them, what do you know, what don't you know, what bias do you have? You need to know all of that, right? So I don't know the year, but I know by 2030, it's predicted that 39% of our human skills are going to be obsolete. That's by 2030. And then people will be replaced on a larger scale than we even see right now. So I don't have the year, but I wouldn't, you know how you have dog years? You know, 1 year is 7 years. In AI years, 2030 is like a century. So I would put my stake in the ground there, but I don't have a, final answer.
Okay. All right. Oh, hold on. We got some questions from the. Hold on.
Question box.
No. Hold on. I got the video ask if you're in the chat. Yeah. If you No. We only got a few. That's from the old ones.
Oh, okay.
So if you got a question real quick for either of us, they're in the chat and in the description. There is a link. Go check that out, right? So, Chris, shout out to Chris. So after watching one of your tutorials a few weeks ago about Google Gemini, I created an AI character called, that's a big word, I'm not even going to mess me up. You know how I am with names. Don't do that to me. And Instagram, and had ChatGPT help me with the scripts. I also have a single available on the platforms I created for her. Thanks for the inspiration. Oh, come on, Chris. Shout out to you. Come on.
Nothing like a good shout out.
Listen, I'm here for this. Artists today are feeling the same way that the old artists felt when sampling music came along, because they felt like there was replacing of artists in the studio. That's a good point. That's a good point. Here we go. So Miss, I'm assuming that's for you. So Miss, what do you suggest I do as a blind creator? Because having the disability makes it 3 times as hard. It's extremely difficult to find work to help me pay for subscriptions. I use ChatGPT and everything, but it's not as easy as it tries to make it seem. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. I joined the live late. So, see, that was for you. Her name's Cynthia.
Yes. Cynthia Respert, RESPERT, on all platforms, Cynthia Respert. Very good question. I don't want to make assumptions, but I would assume that you are using the voice features on ChatGPT. Accessibility is huge. That's also another issue in this AI innovation age that you want to, that they are paying attention to. So you definitely want to use the accessibility tools that are available. Speaking to it, you can train it just like anyone else can with your voice. Also, it can be the eyes for you. And I commend you for stepping up and putting this in the chat. And if we didn't see it, you put it in the Q&A to make sure we get to it. But this is a world where, man, this is good, because you can create with your words and the images appear for others. So this is an easiest time more than ever for you to take what's in your heart and your mind and your expertise, your background and your life, articulate it, and then other people can witness it for the first time at scale. So the images that you see in your mind, the creativity that you have in your heart, the way you speak it into these AI systems, you can bring it to life much faster and at scale with AI. So I would say, and I don't know if you're using, I would assume that's what you're using is, hold on. Is that me? You're using the voice feature. I heard something in my ear. Voice features there, but I would use it that way on any platform that has that voice accessibility. So Nicky, I don't know what you would add there.
No, I'm gonna go with everything you said. I'm not one of those people that try to one up it. That you said everything. We good. Yeah, no, I'm not. This is not a panel.
But yeah, shout out to her though. Yeah, Javon, is that it? Jovan? Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
And then Dawn, what is your current tech stack for creators like oh, you want to talk from a creator standpoint? See, now we can do that. We can do that. She talks about life.
Do it, Nicky. That's for you.
So for me, what I'm using currently from a creator standpoint, ChatGPT still on a regular. That is the main boo. That's what I am used to. It's not going anywhere. Shout out to Gemini and all that great stuff. It just doesn't know me. All right, it just doesn't know me. Then the memory just got better, right? Poppy AI is my complete content system, right? From the YouTube, I literally have a YouTube brain. I have a LinkedIn board. I have a newsletter board. I have a content feedback board. Everything that I may need for content, to audit it, to give me the right steps, and to give me extra ideas based off my competitors or thought leaders. I use that on Poppy AI. Opus Clip is still my boo, all right? Still, shout out to Opus. After this live, I'm putting this live right inside of Opus because it helps me, not necessarily from a creative standpoint, it doesn't look all the way the prettiest, but it breaks down every like fire part of the live, of the videos that I do, that if I wanted to get into my creative bag, I already saved over an hour or two of not rewatching. Well, where are we at? Yeah, 2 hours, 28 minutes so far. I don't have to rewatch it. See, that's what I'm telling you. We've been here for a while. That's why I was like, you need to go sleep. That's what I'm saying. But Opus Clip allows me to do that. Low key, one of my favorite things right now, two favorites, Notion AI, favorite, right? Because that's my second brain. And then the 11 Reader, right? So 11 Labs has this app, we covered it last week, where it can read your blogs, PDFs, all of that in your voice or an AI voice or a famous voice, as well as do the same thing as NotebookLM. It turns it into a podcast thing. It doesn't, you can't talk back to it. Now, Notebook allows you to interrupt and be like, hey, man, can you go further into this? Right. It doesn't do that. But for me, it allows me to remember things a lot easier because I read a lot of blogs and I hate reading. I ain't gonna lie, I hate it. So I put that in 11 Reader. It reads it in my voice, which is super wild, and does it super well. And I remember it easier because I'm listening to it as I'm reading it. So that's kind of my tech stack real quick. Of course, CapCut is the OG of certain things. I'm low key liking Meta AI just because I have the glasses. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Just because I have the glasses and talking to it is a lot easier just off of the strength of calling it than necessarily going into ChatGPT and being, because Apple still sucks. Your integration.
What about Ray-Ban? What about the Ray-Bans?
The glasses, yeah. The Ray-Ban, yeah. I love that thing. That thing is fire.
Yeah.
Everybody should get that. But I saw they're doing something with Oakley. So before you, if you're an Oakley fan or whatever, wait, because they just announced something about that. So hold on, okay?
Might be out next week. You never know.
Yeah. No, they said, hold on. Can I find it real quick? Let me see. Zuck. You know, Zuck always has.
This chat real quick.
Yeah, go check it out.
Type it out.
They lit.
Shout out to the bowl. I know.
620.
As always.
620. That's what it says. Hold on. Boom. See? 620. I don't know what they're gonna be releasing. They said Ray-Bans, you cute, but we got to take over all of the sunglass industries. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what that's about.
Zuck.
Yeah.
There's Zuck.
Shout out to Zuck. Okay, tell us.
Wait, so One real quick. I did see this, and I meant to say that I had it, and I didn't. I forgot. I can't see it now. But the accessibility function in ChatGPT, with the sharing your video, like if there's this is for Jovan. If you want to see something, you can activate that as well, and it can see for you. So that's one of the amazing things that you can employ. Since you said you use ChatGPT, so you can check that out as well. Shout out to somebody who reminded me of that in the chat.
Rob asked to use Replit.
What's up, Rod? I like Lovable better. I started out with Replit. It's still hovering around, but it's not. I don't have it in active rotation. There was a hackathon that I was going to tap into, and time was timing, and I did not. So it's cool. I would say try it out and see how you like it. And this is the key: does it solve your problem? If it does not, then move on to the next one. Take the pain point, rewire it, optimize it with AI.
That's a fact. Do you think the $250 a month is worth it with Gemini, or is Midjourney a better option? Okay.
Is Gemini $250?
So that's with the VO3. So that's the
VO3. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So true. I'll say this because I've been messing with VO3. If you have no intentions of storytelling, like a couple times a month with this joint, don't, right? Because so there's different features, but majority of people buy it for VO3, right? And flow. And for what it can do, it's amazing. Now, wait a little bit longer, like a couple of weeks or a couple of months. We were in the DMs. We saw something that supposedly is better than VO3. Kling is doing its thing, right? So right now, for the first 3 months, they're allowing you to do it for I think 125. If you got 125 to kind of just spare, just to test it out for 3 months, I would say go do it, right? But if you have no intentions of creating videos on a regular basis, it allows you to do 5 a day. And then you can go into Flow and use credits. But once the credits are up, they're up. It's like a monthly joint. I would say, like how I feel about the ChatGPT 200 joint. I don't think we're there yet with needing it. Like, it's cool. Yeah. Like, I do believe if you have the $200 ChatGPT thing, you get all the features real quick, right? At the second they drop it, they're going to that tier first. So if you're one of those FOMO people, absolutely. But when we're talking about the Gemini 250, I would say if you have 125 to just spare, which some of us in this economy, that ain't it, just to make some pictures that is, so it just depends on your needs. I'm testing it out clearly for the channel and see how good it is, which it is impressive. I did a whole Trojan horse story, which was phenomenal. Like, I like it, but do I see me using it after the 3 months? I do believe something will be better.
That's the thing. I saw something that said, don't commit to the year for nothing. Not an AI. Innovate so quickly. You do them free trials, then you may go to a monthly one, because just as soon as you think this is the bee's knees, I sounded old as all get out. But you know what I'm saying? As soon as you think it's the top, the epitome of what can happen, AI moves the bar. And again, 1 week and whatever, when VO3 came, Google V3 came out, AI agents, there was an AI agent update, a Lovable did something, all of it came all at once. I'm in the space and I was overwhelmed. I uploaded all NotebookLM. I was like, tell me what's going on here. Cause it's too much. It's too much. Yeah. So don't commit to, as a rule, do what makes sense for you and your tech stack. But as a rule, test out the free trial, then do the monthly where you're not committed to something for long term if it can be outpaced by just not another tool, but just the technology, period. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Shout out to Tony. Tony, she said Manus, and she meant Open AI. You can use VO3 for cheaper. OpenAI has VO3? I didn't know that, but I know Manus, which I'm not touching. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I ain't touching Menace.
Why? Security?
Because I'm traumatized with what you were going to do with TikTok. You want me to put my trust in Menace? You were going to do that with TikTok.
It's on the block again, ain't it?
Listen,
I think so.
It always is. But my whole thing is, and y'all watch that Stephen Bartlett joint, right? That interview with the Godfather of AI. He mentioned something because Trump is all AI, right? He mentioned that he may just be super pro AI because it is collecting a lot of data, and it could be able to be used to kind of sway votes, right, for future candidates. Because we know, well, we hope, or however you feel about Trump, this is not one of those things. But Trump can't run according to where it is now, again, after these 4 years are done. But whoever has that power, it could possibly sway some votes based off the messaging that you can do because you have so much data. I do believe that if Manus makes enough like noise, Trump is going to be like, oh, hell no. Hold on. We shutting Manus down. No, we not. We are not. Only Sam and Google, all of them, everybody who is US based, I'm all for them. Somebody else make up an AI. I'm for them as long as they're US based. But if you over there, absolutely not. So I personally have not, because I'm traumatized. Until that man gets out of office, I'm traumatized with anything with China and tariffs and all that. I'm done. I can't. But shout out to those people who use Manus. I'm just a ChatGPT girl. I'm good.
Me too. It's one of those things. If you're not doing more than what I currently have in my tech stack, you're not getting introduced in here. So I nibbled down on it in a little bit, but it didn't make the cut.
Yeah. So tell the people before you go, because it is 11:30, and I do want to be mindful of your time. I not many people could chill with me this long. So first off, shout out to you. All right, shout out to you.
It did not feel like 2.5 hours. This was lit. This was fun. You make it easy. So I appreciate you.
That's why I run out of. That's why I be thinking like, yo, it's already 12. Hold on, wait.
I know.
I still got 3 other things to talk about.
I started to give you a heads up, like, hey, I can't be on for 4 hours now.
yeah. And then come to find out. You know what I mean? Come to
Here
find
we
out.
are, right? That's what's up. So yes, I am, again, if you're joining late, my name is Cynthia Respert, and I am a founder of the AI Execution Club, where we cure mental obesity. I just said that for today. And the AI Builder Academy.
Fat in our head.
I know, right? Fat head. But yeah, Cynthia Respert, founder of the AI Execution Club and AI Builder Academy. And we are heading, me, myself, and I, and a whole group of powerful women in AI to Cannes, France. I am the Cannes Festival in France, and it's for women in AI futures. And super excited about the partnerships that they've created, some panels that we'll be speaking on, and just networking and staying in the space. Because leaders need to be led too. Experts are always learning. Expertise is not a destination, it's a journey. You don't ever arrive and just like, I'm the expert. Not in AI, because you're an expert today and a novice tomorrow. So I'm excited to join Women in AI Futures this week in Nice, France, to have some discussions of how we take this movement global as it is evolving.
That's major. Light up the chat with some fires, some emojis, some lions, anything that you want, because that festival, like the best of the best, go there. So I'm super excited for her to be there. Like, that's why this live wasn't even gonna happen, because she was like, yo, I may be on a flight. I ain't gonna hold you like I want to. Like, literally, I'm watching every Monday, but I may be serving the world, like literally. Like, they need to hear this. You feel me? So everybody show some love. I want to personally say thank you for jumping on and having these amazing comments, because I don't normally get to talk to people with AI
I know
stuff.
you're usually up here solo. I feel honored. I feel honored.
Yeah. So I appreciate it. You get all the flowers. You've been killing it. We gonna work on the Instagram. We gonna work on the Instagram.
We gonna work on. I'm gonna have some
Because
clips from this. You know what I'm saying?
listen, I'm giving you the files. Here's the great part.
You are.
Any really dope creators, right? Who can go toe to toe from an AI conversation with me. Not in a negative way. You ain't hear no negativity, but I can go there if you want to.
I want the smoke if you got the smoke.
Yeah. But I give you 4K files, okay? I give you 4K files. Oh, wait, here's a good question for y'all. Hold on. Will y'all be at Podcast Summit? I will not, but she will.
I will be at Podcast Summit. Hey,
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I gotta go support.
Shands, Podcast Summit. This is the third one running in Atlanta. PodcastSummit.com. I will be talking AI. And I said, put the placeholder there, because who knows what's going to happen by August in the AI space.
Listen.
Who knows?
Listen.
So I will be there. PodcastSummit.com. Get your tickets August 7th and the 8th in Atlanta, Georgia. Great question.
Hey, they asked the YouTube. Come on, get her,
Nicky,
get her right, get her right. Come on. You can't come on this platform and they ain't gonna try to see where you at. You can't hide on LinkedIn only. Come on.
I know it. Catch me on LinkedIn, y'all. But no, if you're just joining, I said I've been in the suburbs of social media in the LinkedIn space. Absolutely love it there. But I had an Airbnb over here on IG, and I'm unpacking my bags. So I would appreciate a follow. Let's go. We're gonna talk more about what we did tonight in the AI space. And again, part of me, Nicky, is everybody zigging. I want to zag. But sometimes you gotta zig before you can zag. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. Hold on. I'm gonna drop her IG. I'm not gonna support the LinkedIn. We supporting the IG. Okay? So hold on. This is her IG. I put it in the chat. You feel me?
That's it.
We are YouTube IG family. Shout out to the few people that do LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Shout out. I support it. I need to get better on it. So shout out to y'all. But
I get better on IG. You get better on LinkedIn. We do the event to educate people in a simplistic and educational way so they can get it and leverage it. I'm just saying. That's what we get. Mm-hmm.
So she will be she's gonna be in France. She's gonna be at the Podcast Summit. All of that amazing stuff. Are you going to InvestFest?
I plan to be there.
Okay, good.
I plan to be there.
Type 1 if you plan on.
I'll be there in some capacity.
What that mean?
Oh, I'll be there.
Okay, I was like, what that mean?
Did I say it weird? Oh.
It's like I'm gonna be there in some capacity. I may show up for one thing and then that's it. Like
I might be an AI hologram. I might be no, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
no.
That's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan.
I'll be speaking at InvestFest. You feel me? Hey! So you gotta go. You know what I mean? Because I don't go outside very often.
And I missed you. I would have seen you at the Next Level Speaker Conference, but you had to get flued out to the BT experience, there for one day.
I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
I love it.
The way my life is. The way my life is. Anyways,
I have to publicly say first. No, you're not gonna get away without.
Wait, what happened?
I have to publicly say that I am just honored to know you. I am excited to see your journey, and I just want to thank you for just being transparent in it. you grew your channel from, like I said, I remember the 500 posts to look at where you are now. You show up every single Monday. You ask your community, what do you want? What time do you want to meet? That's how Content Corner was moved to this time. It was a different time, right?
Yeah.
So you lead with integrity, transparency.
They get moved again because we're going so late. We may have to move it again.
I know, right?
Man,
you mean at 12 noon on Mondays, y'all. Lunchtime.
We do lunch, we do dinner, whatever. Y'all getting. I feel bad for the East Coast people. I'm a night owl, but I feel bad for the people. Anyway, go ahead. My bad.
Awesome. Yeah, no, but I appreciate you. You show love to creators. You recognize people out there doing the work, and just want to amplify that. So I just appreciate you. I just wanted to share that I know that you say you're introvert, but I see just even bigger stages for you. So congrats on what you've accomplished thus far, but it is more to come.
I received that.
So I appreciate it.
I received that. We just got to make sure that you jump on YouTube and Instagram.
Can I do IG first? Can I do IG? What y'all want to hear on the YouTube channel?
YouTube.
What y'all want to hear on YouTube?
Everything you just talked about? What are you talking about? So you want to be restricted to 90 seconds.
No, you're right.
I'm saying your
my
information.
Coach, David Chance has been in my ear for decades. Not decades. I've known him.
I was like, that's dramatic.
That is. It feels like decades. But I know that's how you establish trust. That's how you build your brand. That's how people. I don't know how many people want to see a YouTube channel.
Type one if she should be on YouTube. No, hold on. There's a little delay. You gotta let. No, this isn't Instagram. This isn't LinkedIn automatic situations. All right, YouTube. You got to talk to the people. You got to build, and then they start to. There's a little delay. Don't do that. That's wild. Yeah, type one.
I don't see one.
If she needs to do a YouTube channel, I mean, we're only on YouTube. Only. See, watch. There you go. Hello. I said, wait. Just wait. You want me to put it on the screen? Hold on. Let me put it on the screen.
No.
Let me put. Really? Everybody drop a 1. Look. It's a must. That's your boy. That's your boy.
Double ones.
You know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. Come on.
Right. One, yes. See? Tell us everything. Okay. All right. Well, follow the journey on IG. How about that?
Hey! Listen.
Shout out. She said that I'm your 2019th follower. Shout out. Appreciate you.
let me put the link in the chat one more time. Please go follow her on Instagram. Whenever she makes her YouTube, go follow her there. We're not supporting the LinkedIn just yet because we not LinkedIn family.
Hey, I'm in your house, so whatever you support.
Listen, I'm just saying, shout out but the money is in LinkedIn. Okay, the money is in LinkedIn. I will give you that. Big money is in LinkedIn, and like I said, I need to take that more serious. But there's money in YouTube, Lord.
For sure. Now. Yeah. I know.
I got a new light.
I know this.
I got a new light because of YouTube.
I say I know this. I was on the other live where you were like, YouTube pays my mortgage.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Let me get on YouTube.
No, that's an all the way a fact. That is all the way a fact, and the HOA fees. Come on. Yeah. So yeah. Have a safe flight. I really appreciate. Go kill it. Please break down this crazy AI world into something simple for the people, and say hi to the people from me. Be like, hey, Nicky said hello in France,
hello.
Right?
Over the pond. Yep. Shout out to Women in AI Futures. Liberty White in the building. So yeah, we'll
come on. Appreciate you. Awesome. Listen. Everybody light up the chat right now. Right up, and what do you have against LinkedIn? I don't have anything against LinkedIn. I promise you. It's all jokes, Doc. It's all jokes, Doc. I'm just saying we a YouTube IG family. You know what I mean? We're a YouTube IG family. I just want to put that out there. Real quick. Ooh, hold on. Hold up. I just got an exclusive DM. Let me see if I can pull this up. So y'all know we were talking about Timbo, right? So Curtis King, the guy who did the interview of K Fresh, I asked him, y'all gonna hear it with me, right? I asked him, hey, break down to me, because I'm not in the music industry. I'm a creator girl, right? Like, I'm for the creators, but break down to me, because what I'm seeing is, yes, he didn't shout him out. Yes, he uploaded his stuff to AI without his permission, and we're looking like it's training AI. What is the situation? So let me see. Hold on. See if it plays.
What's going on with you? So, yeah, no problem. So the first issue is obviously him taking the music directly off of TikTok and serving it into Suno, because, you know, you can't do that without getting permission from the original people, because everybody doesn't want to have their music, add to the big brain, or add to the data they're able to pull from when they're generating these things for other prompts that are out there. That's one. Two, it breaks the terms of Suno, who say, whatever, before you even upload a file, you have to click this button and agree that you have the permission to actually upload this music. Not only did he not have the permission from the producer, but also the artist C Red, who's rapping on that, she never approved it either. So he went and used AI to turn a black woman's voice into a white woman singing opera, but it was the original C Red lyrics, just in a singing form. He thinks he's getting away with it because it's not for sale, or he's not selling anything. But there's an issue because he has equity in this company, and him doing it this way breaks the terms that they have you click on before you even are able to upload it. And he did this publicly to assist a prompt that he added to it in addition to the upload.
Shout out to Curtis. Hold on, let me show y'all his channel. His channel is so dope. All right, what is y'all take on it? The chat's on the screen right now. What is y'all take on this? Because we're in an interesting world. Right here. Boom. I subscribed on my other channel. Hold on. I got to make sure I'm subscribed on all channels. You know what I mean? So that's Kurt. That's who you just heard the voice. That's who interviewed Curtis King. Curtis King interviewed K Fresh, aka Cuddy Fresh. And this needs way more. I'm gonna give y'all the link to the interview too, because that needs way more love. That needs way more love, because that was a really good interview. That was, it was so good. It was so good. Unfortunately, we are in that weird, like I said, we're just in that weird stage of AI, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it, but we're here with it. I think I had one more video about it. I wanted Cynthia to go because she needs to sleep, so shout out to her. But they actually, Curtis actually did another, let me pull it up, another clip from that actual interview. So let's listen to it real quick. Oops, hold on.
Now it takes
This video's about a year old.
It's not really enjoyable to make music now. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. You need to get really good at an instrument or really good at a piece of production software. I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
That is Mikey Schulman, the CEO of AI music generator SUNO, which he describes as...
SUNO is a way for everybody to experience all of the joys of music. We're not making music, we're making musicians.
Mikey also says that it's SUNO's goal to...
a bigger, more vibrant music industry that has way more participants in it and not this more precious thing where very few people have access to actually doing it.
One of the problems that has led to SUNO being sued by UMG, Warner, and Sony is their unauthorized use of copyrighted music, and God knows how much music from independent artists that they have used for their training data. In fact, in this interview, Mikey admits...
yeah, we know that there are some copyrighted works in our training data. That's not illegal. It's what every AI company does.
SUNO has gone on record to say their training data includes essentially all music files of reasonable quality that are accessible on the open internet. Some of the music generated on SUNO has included producer tags from Cash Money AP, Jason Derulo, and also my guy Cuddy Fresh with this messy ass Timbaland situation. Who, if you didn't know, has equity in this company, SUNO.
Yeah, he's an advisor to the company.
SUNO has not had to pay the musicians or labels that have contributed to their training data, even though
we made a decision to start charging from day one.
There's rumors that major labels and SUNO may be close to reaching a settlement in court. With this settlement, this would give SUNO licensing rights and major labels equity in the company. You know, with that said, I can't help but think, what about the independent artists? Who's there to go to bat for us? Mikey doesn't seem to be too concerned about us.
I have good taste. I make good SUNO music. Yeah, I can't play the piano. I can't play the guitar, but I am very good at picking through the SUNO music and finding the way to make it sound like you wanted it to hear. And that makes me a creator.
Mikey wants SUNO to give everyday amateurs access to music skills that professionals had to earn to achieve. In fact, Mikey would like to see a world where real musicians and amateur AI music generating creators share the same platforms, as if music is not already overly saturated.
It would just be a bummer if I had to go to two different places.
It'll just be a bummer. Which is sure to cheapen the value of music that artists already only get paid a fraction of a penny per stream for. Why, Mikey? What's the purpose of this?
We didn't just want to build a company that makes the current crop of creators 10% faster. If you want to impact the way 1 billion people experience music, you have to build something for 1 billion people.
This is not just about AI. This is about greed based off a product that is trained off the hard work of real artists like you and I. You know, the ones that actually enjoy what Mikey calls hard work.
So let's have this conversation, because I mean, we've used SUNO, right? We've used SUNO, and now I have really true mixed feelings about it in the way that that was talked about. Now, granted, once again, just like how we saw in the beginning of this live, we live in a clip nation, right? So I always say, go watch the full interview, right? And let me see if I can find it, and I'll put it in the chat, right? But one, I don't believe mastering anything should be easy, right? And let's just have this conversation where we're now learning to be prompt engineers. Being a prompt engineer, being somebody who is super detailed with how they describe what they want, is actually really hard. Okay? Really, really hard. Shout out to the AI being smart to an extent to understand what we mean. But prompt engineering is not easy. And now they are saying, yo, my music creators, if you want to utilize this tool, you got to be pretty much a prompt engineer. And Tim said this too. I'm all for a tool that will create a new genre. I'm here for for tools that create brand new categories. What I'm not here is that he literally admitted, yeah, we have some copyright situations inside of our software. That's not illegal. That's not cool. Where it gets gray, and we touched on it with Cynthia, where it gets gray is the content that we put out there, right? So if we go, let's look up K-Fresh, right? Hold on. So, shout out to K-Fresh. We've been following each other for a while. He's great. So you're going to see, and I don't want to play it because that just increases chances of things being taken, right? Because to sit here and think that YouTube isn't training Gemini, you're kind of sleeping, right? Google owns YouTube. So everything that's on YouTube is probably in Gemini. So all the content that I have created, all the content that other creators have created, that's training the AI, hands down, right? But when we look at K-Fresh and all the different beats he creates on his Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, it gets that gray line, because probably in the terms of service, when we sign up for Meta, we're pretty much saying this isn't like you're able to do whatever you want with our content. We're giving all the rights to Meta. We're giving all the rights to TikTok. So it's free game to an extent when it's on social media, unfortunately, right? We don't own these platforms. Now, where credit, like integrity and character comes in, is make sure the creator is acknowledged and compensated. That's my whole thing. Make sure a creator is acknowledged and compensated. Educate, acknowledge, compensate. But the fact that the guy from Suno literally said, hey, yeah, we got some copyright situations in our software, and that's not illegal. And then going back to the terms of service, when it's saying that you have the rights to use provided here under, what happens? How do you know if you have permission or not? One of the things that Hey Jen does, shout out to Hey Jen, is you have to, when you put in your clone, in your voice, and I think 11 Labs does this too, you have to do a permission thing where it analyzes who you are and how you speak, and if it's the same person that you are submitting. Does Suno have that? I don't believe Suno has that. I personally have never submitted anything inside of Suno. I only do, as what Tim says, the karaoke version. But this just doesn't sit well with me from a creator standpoint. This doesn't sit well with me as I'm looking at AI, and now for me having a responsibility of saying, yo, the content that I come out with is going to be, how do we take our authentic voice and use these different AI large language models as a guide and not a pure creator, right? How can we show more love to the styles that supposedly AI is taking? It just leaves me in this weird situation, right? Because I do believe that This is something that will help us save time, help us get to the next level, help us be way more consistent. But it still needs to be done right. It still needs to be acknowledged and compensated correctly, right? Tony said, read the fine lines. You gave all the rights to the platform, social media platforms. It's not that he is right, because your information becomes data. Yeah, I just think, like I said, I think it just should have been acknowledged. That when it comes to the K-Fresh, and he said it, just acknowledge me, my guy. I know we remix and stitch, and we put it on our YouTube videos all the time. Just acknowledge the kid. So yeah, that's that. I wanted to do, I think I had one video I wanted to talk about. One video I wanted to talk about. Hold on. I think this was the video. So I saw this AI startup that's making a lot of noise, and I want to kind of dissect it real quick. Hold on.
Percent of founders like I've ever seen in my life.
Wait.
You understand marketing better than probably 99.9% of founders like I've ever seen in my life. So I want to know, like, what was the thought process behind the video? Had you seen other startup videos that were similar? Or you just like, hey, I just want to shake shit up?
Bro, I feel like friend.com gave everyone the playbook like literally a full year ago.
Yeah.
They showed everyone, if you just make like a high cinematic, controversial, dystopic launch video, then you will get tens of millions of views. And for some reason, nobody else attempted it except us. So we took a lot of inspiration off friend.com.
You understand marketing better than probably 90.
So this is the startup called Cluely, right? Cluely, and I want to see if I could find the full video for y'all, because they were stirring up, and these are all 20-year-olds, okay? These are all 20-year-olds. And you saw how much money, a $30 million startup. So Cluely AI, I think this is it. Here we go. Let me show y'all this. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, how old did you say you were?
I'm 30 years old.
Your profile says you worked at Bananazon?
Yeah, I've been there for the past 8 years doing like senior software engineering, so like coding.
Really?
So this AI just helps you cheat and lie, right? The title is Invisible AI to Cheat on Zoom Meetings and Job Interviews.
Look, I know I look a little young for my age, but I promise you, I'm 30 years old.
Okay, well, maybe you are just way older than you look.
I saw on your profile that you're like into art.
Yeah, I've been really into illustrations by Nara. I didn't expect you to be an art guy.
The fact that this man got a date because of AI is great.
Oh man.
Here's your glass of rosé. And
Thank you.
Sorry, we couldn't verify your ID.
Oh.
So
What?
Here's a grape juice for you.
Oh, wait. I'm pretty sure there's a mistake.
I think you're way too young for me, so I'm gonna have to go.
Wait. Okay, look, listen, I know I lied about my age. I'm sorry. But the second I saw your profile and I saw the painting with the tulips, you're just like the most gorgeous girl ever, and you're such an unbelievably talented artist.
This is wild. Someone's gonna run with this.
Do you think you can just give me like one chance to show you I can make this work?
Can you give me some time to think about it? Are you free sometime next week?
Ooh, actually, next week I have this anime convention I gotta go to with my boys. Do you think you could do like next month, maybe?
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That got 30 million Hold on. Let's do some investigation. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
This is the Cluey team, and we are super pumped to have Daniel as our CMO.
So cat's out of the bag, and I'm joining Cluey as their new CMO and moving to San Francisco to live in the office. To give some context on how I got here, Roy reached out to me through a text asking if I'd be interested in marketing. And after a lot of internal debates in my head, my ultimate...
They're hiring a CMO. Who has a CMO?
AI, you should use AI. If it helps you, then you should use it. If using a calculator will help you, then you should use it. If using spell check will help you, then you will use it. Eventually, the spell check will teach you how to spell the right words because you'll get used to it so much. Or you just won't need to know how to spell anymore. You'll just need to know what the word is. If you can use AI to help, then you should. And if it can already do the job, then you'll never need to do the job in the future, assuming AI is everywhere, which it will be. I think when you...
So I like how they're positioning themselves like they are hitting straight at it. Like this is a cheating software where most will, I got you, Tony. Most will hide that fact. He's like, nah, this is a cheating software. This is crazy. What did he say? Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry because it is Timbo. Why is it blowing up? This has been done for years. And if it was nobody that did this, okay. So let's keep it a buck. And going back to the Timbo thing real quick. The reason why this is being blown up is because it is Tim. Is because when you have a certain amount of status, unfortunately, you have this invisible responsibility. And even though Tim is trying to come from a kid-like creative way of doing things and showing all the capabilities that it can do, the only thing he went wrong with it is he documented it. He could have done that in the background because let's keep it a buck. A bunch of us do things similar to that unintentionally. Like I said, some of us upload PDFs and books and all of that inside of ChatGPT. We don't find that wrong, but the author could find that completely wrong. If we had some type of status and we said, hey, we uploaded this whole video inside of ChatGPT, inside of Gemini, it'd be a whole different story. But with Tim, because of his status, he can't be so public when he is doing stuff with AI until it is completely proven. And that's my suggestion. Until it is all the way like safe for creators, he should be doing different use cases of this isn't right, this is right, we shouldn't use this for AI, this is pure copying, and then this is for Suno, this is how producers should be using it. This is how writers, singers, so all that should be using it. That's if I could give any type of advice to Tim, it would really be fall back on the documentation and publishing side and do your use cases because you need to protect us as creators. You feel what I'm saying? Not only that, y'all mad about this. Tim has more eyes on him, so of course it's going to blow up. That's a fact. No, he took someone's work and tried to act like he came with it. No, he didn't. Doc, he didn't. So I showed the original clip, and he didn't act as if he came up with that. So the full original clipping, you can rewind, because he does different remixes. He'll take somebody's voice, put it into Suno, and create a beat around it, right? So what he acted as he did was a collaborator, but it didn't come off like that, right? He put the beat, which he wasn't supposed to, because that wasn't his beat to put inside. he put the beat inside of Suno, and he built off of that beat afterwards. So he didn't do that. Like I said, watch the full clip that he came with, and I'll give you the link for that. What I'm not saying what he did was right, because like I said, he violated the terms of service. He didn't acknowledge the producer, and I don't know if that was on his stream or just his TikTok. So yeah, that's the original one. He should have acknowledged, and he shouldn't have uploaded it without permission. So, in fact, that's the problem K-Fresh had with it. That's a fact. That's a fact. Hold on. I'm still very curious about this Cluely situation. Hold on. Hold up. I'm very curious about. Where is my phone?
Something I'm super excited to announce. I'm one of Cluely's 50 interns at Cluely Ground Zero this summer. Nah, I'm just kidding, but I'm here with Roy and Neil, who are the co-founders of Cluely. They were actually the people who also built Interview Coder, who is completely changing how tech interviews are happening. Everybody hates Leet Code.
Yeah, I mean, Cluely's pretty much Jarvis on your desktop. Use it for everything. It sees your screen, hears your audio, and it can help you in exactly the way you need help. It's like Interview Coder for everything.
And today it's just interviews and exams and meetings and sales calls, but it's going to be in your classes, and then down the road it's going to be a chip in your brain.
One of the questions that I get a lot is, should I drop out? I want to do a startup, and
No, I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
So much money, we can't help it. So we're really scaling this shit up. I'm not even trolling you. 1,000 creators are going to be shipping out content. We're doing a complete internet takeover. No company ever dies from being too controversial. You die because you don't make enough fucking money.
What formats on Instagram Reels are like the most modern in terms of consistently viral?
Every week there's 2 new ones, and at any point there's probably 10 to 20 viral trends that is happening. And these cycle so quick. You need to keep your finger on the pulse. These things will expire immediately. You need to be on the ball. And like if I told you right now, by the time people watch this on YouTube, it would have all been expired.
Give us the latest and greatest. Like, what's going viral today?
There's a caption. It starts with the face, usually a handsome dude or a pretty girl. They're saying, "Damn, this interview is starting with the hard questions. I should have been a CS major, not a business major." That's engagement bait, because people are saying bro, CS is way harder than business. Then it turns around, the interviewer asks hey, how are you doing? Why should we hire you? And then this guy uses Cluely to generate a response, but he can't fucking read the response. So he reads it hella autistically, I revel in detail. And then that is another conversation point. People are cooking on the guy because he can't read properly. The guy is doing a really dumb interview using Cluely. We are profitable. We're not trying.
So they're killing it because of marketing. They're killing it because of content. If you heard that in the way that I heard it, he was breaking down how in each content piece there should be 2 to 3 conversation points. So you create the conversation in the beginning, and then you create the conversation in the middle, and that's what keeps people watching and either get people to love or hate your idea, but they're watching and wanting to have conversations about it. That's fire.
Let's talk about the AI startup that lets you cheat on everything and how it started. Roy Lee was a Columbia student that got kicked out because he cheated on his technical interview with his AI tool called Interview Coder. He was able to actually get a job offer from it. Interview Coder was able to dynamically listen to the technical interviews and give the solutions for it. It sparked so much controversy that Roy Lee and his co-founder Neil turned it into a business opportunity and created Cluely, an AI assistant that lets you cheat on everything. This is their Black Mirror style launch video for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how old are Bananas on?
I'm
able to raise $5.3 million in seed funding and already surpassing $3 million in annual recurring revenue. They are currently trying to make Cluely into a cognitive extension and push the boundaries for an invisible AI assistant. So what do you think of Cluely? Let's talk about the AI.
That's crazy. That's all the way crazy. That's crazy. What do y'all think about that? First off, have y'all heard? Say yes if you've heard of Cluely. I've never heard of it until I saw these types of videos. But the fact that they lean into the negative and lean into content, super fire. Super fire. You know what I mean? Okay, before we go, I want to show, y'all know I'm transparent. So I want to show, I think there's a new way to monetize on YouTube, but they didn't really necessarily announce it. And so I got a notification and I want to talk about it. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. First and foremost, let me say this. This is going to be a conversation in itself. Trying new content formats and not being in love with the numbers, we're going to talk about that. But if you go to earn and you go into, they have this new tab called Player for Education. And it says, you're earning a share of the revenue earned from views of your content in Player for Education. Visit YouTube Analytics to view your estimated Player for Education revenue. So, if you create educational content, it's saying or videos or shorts, our educational partners like schools and teachers may choose to embed your content in their learning material. When educational partners choose to embed your content or watch your already embedded content, they may be using Player for Education. Player for Education is embedded players that improves the way YouTube shows videos in educational tools. So our educational partners pay a license, the Player Education from YouTube. The player provides additional privacy safeguards for students and gives them the experience that's designed for learning. As part of the experience, the player doesn't show ads. Even though they aren't any ads, you can still earn money from the amount of times people watch your videos in a player. So I'm mad they didn't talk about this more, but I'm interested to see how this is going to be. So I just saw this notification probably like yesterday. So we'll probably have to go in a month and see if this is even worth looking at. I'm interested in that. And then also I'm questioning if we should do memberships on the channel, right? So think about, and I want to show you the back end of all the different ways of monetizing on YouTube. You have page ads, you have short ads, you have memberships, you have supers, you have shopping, which low-key, you should see kind of a notification for the hat. The hat did a small restock. So if you haven't gotten the hat, if you tap on it, it unlocks a exclusive GPT, customized GPT that turns your thoughts into content drafts. We'll talk about that more later, but that just restocked. So you're able to connect your store to your YouTube. Brand Connect allows YouTube to connect you with different brand deals. And then giving allows you to, give to charity. So that's not necessarily an earn, but this is more of a give, which one of these lives we're going to start that up. We're going to find a really dope fundraiser to raise money for, and we're going to do a whole live about that, right? But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ways to monetize on YouTube, right? The one that I haven't touched, that I'm seeing what's the point, right, is the community one, right, where you get different badges It says turn your engaged subscribers into paying members and earn 70% of the net revenue when you offer perks. 70 is decent, but this is why a lot of people go to like Patreon or do Heartbeat, Mighty Networks, because that 30 is interesting, right? So it says start by choosing perks. So here's some of the things that if we were to do a membership that it could do. So use by creators like you. Loyalty badges. All members can have a loyalty badge for their username as they're part of the community. You'll be able to upload custom badges. So that's cool. Emojis. So you can help members represent the brand with unique emojis. So you can upload emojis. Members only lives. Members shout outs. Members only shorts. Early access to new vids. Members only live chat. Oh, you can do a live chat for members only? That's dope. More perks. Members only video. Discounted merch. Connecting on social media. That could be a perk. Hey, I'll follow you on social. That's a perk. Okay. Members only polls. Members only chat rooms. Photos and status updates. Priority replies to comments. Gameplay with you. What's gameplay? Give members priority access to play alongside in your live stream. Oh, and then you can add anything that you want. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's an option. I'm still back and forth with turning this on because think about it. We would probably have to do a whole different live to see what you guys would want with that. But hold on. You could do one level, you could do 2 levels, or you could provide 3 levels of it, right? Make even more. Yeah, you could do multiple levels. Now, a good example of this, I always got to go to Stephen Bartlett. Y'all know I love that channel. So, boom. Hold on. Let me show y'all. Okay. So here's an example of the membership, right? So he has 1, 2, 3, 4. He has four ways of doing this, right? Gameplay is nice. I like doing that. Okay. So he has a $2.99 one, and that, why is it not letting me go more? Hold on. Let's do this the right way. Let's go to his actual channel. Boom, join. Why doesn't it get bigger? Oh, that's all that is. Boom, boom. This new Stephen Bartlett video is insane. Which one? The behind the AI one or the behind the I want to show that too. The behind the CEO is fire. That's one of my favorite channels. So, okay, you get badges and replies to all your comments. That's for $2.99. He has an $8.99 one that includes everything we just said, plus the transcripts to the podcast, early access to events, exclusive summaries of the podcast episodes, and behind the scenes content from the podcast. But then he also has a $24.99, which then talks about never before seen podcast briefs, exclusive content / product releases related to each guest, and submit questions. And then the $50 one is all of that, exclusive content from Stephen Bartlett, and then attend a live Diary of a CEO event. Here's where it gets interesting, because he also has a, let me see if I can find it. He also has a new community on Stan. So he just became an investor in Stan and created and came out with like Inner Circle. So let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Because I'm in that too. And I'm like, let me see, is it Inner Circle? Let me see. I think he just uploaded something. Give me a second. Now I can't find it. Why is it every single time that we try to find something, we can't find it when we want to? Hold up. Let's put Stephen Bartlett. I would show y'all my email, but my email's a mess. I'm not even gonna hold you. That thing. Okay, it's called Diary. What is it? Diary of a CEO Inner Circle or something. So, boop. Here we go. So he has his own community as well, right? On Stan. So this is where we're diversifying and meeting people where they are. Because some people feel comfortable just subscribing on YouTube. They may not want to join a whole separate platform. Let me get everything that you're saying right, like on the platform that I'm on, right? This one, Diary of CEO Circle, is on Stan, and it's, from my understanding, it's almost the same thing. You get all the exclusive content. You get behind the scenes episodes that never got released. Now, granted, that one's been on a little bit more. I wonder if I can find the pricing for it. That's what I want to find is, let me see if I can find it. Okay. So boom. It's $69 a year or $7 a month. But on YouTube, now granted, he gets 70%. He probably gets, if anything, he gets 100% or maybe 90% if they have like a 10% like kickback. But this man is taking advantage of wherever his community wants to be. He's going to be right there. So what do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer having the community on the platform you feel the most comfortable on? So like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or do you prefer different platforms like Stan, like Circle, like Mighty Networks and things like that, right? Let me know what you think. What Stan store for? So Stan originally was just a really dope link in bio tool, and then it became so much more. So let me pull up Stan store. Boo, boo, boo. Hold on. I got y'all. Meet your all-in-one creator store. So it's a cool link in bio, but also it allows you to sell your courses, your one-on-ones, your merch, and like right here, courses, one-on-ones, digital products, webinars, links. And you can edit it inside of and probably an app and a desktop, and it's supposedly supposed to save you all this money because it could take care of your links. Course builder like Kajabi is $119 a month. Audience analytics, Instagram auto DM. So it's like it replaces ManyChat. It replaces Kajabi, Calendly. It replaces Linktree. It replaces like Kit and exclusive creator strategy coaching. So it's like $29 a month. So you could do your own community in there, like exclusive creator community access. My only thing, and we probably have to do a live about the different platforms, like Mighty Networks, Circle, Heartbeat, Stan. My only thing, and maybe because it's new, let me see where it's at. Did I not? Here we go. I'm not impressed all the way. It just feels like another news feed. Now, maybe the way that he did it, it's only him being able to post in it. So it's not necessarily a community. It's more of an announcement board. Like here. And it has the reactions, but I don't know. I don't know. I thought the goal was to get your community off these platforms. And okay, let's talk about that. Because my thought process is always get these people off because you don't know. But however, some people look at it as if you are leaving money on the table. Because like I said, shout out to, I have a subscription thing on my Instagrams. There's people who still pay for that, right? Just out of love and support. Here you go. There's people who just want to support you on the platforms that you are because they know these platforms don't necessarily pay what the energy you put into it. That's hands down, right? The amount of energy that it takes to run a YouTube channel, an Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of that, you don't get paid enough based off their ads and their monetization thing. So some of your subscribers, some of your followers would just love to be like, yo, I see you. Here you go. Whatever you may need to continue to get this channel continuing to go, please do it, right? So I mean, it's one of those things. That's why. But I wanted to show you the different ways of how YouTube monetizes. Also, how one creator is monetizing not only on YouTube, but also on his own community. And if that's a way you want to do that, right? Wait. It says, it's a lot to manage, but you want to be ready and easily accessible. That's a fact. That's a fact. Like I'm personally reassessing certain things that we're doing from a monetizing standpoint, right? That's why we'll do like the re-ups on the hat to bring in more people inside of the community. That's why we'll start a second channel. So the second channel is now monetized, right? So there's certain things that we're looking at, and I'll break it down in the next live of like how we're monetizing. Sometimes are good and sometimes are bad. So yeah. So having a community is necessary. Asking for an introverted person. You forget I'm introverted too? And let me go here. And sorry that you heard the I was dying of thirst. So in type 1 if you're an introvert, type 2 if you're both, right? Type 3 if you're an extrovert. But type 1 if you're an introvert, type 2 if you're both, introvert and extrovert. Type 3 if you're an extrovert. The reason why I love community so much, and the reason why I do these lives, the reason why I have Lions Behavior and Deeper Than the Brand, is because I create a world that not only makes other people feel safe, but makes me feel safe, right? So I don't do these lives. If the second the live gets negative, like super negative, and we've seen a few, but like super crazy negative, I'll probably like, let's reassess. Because as an introvert, I'm big on creating a safe space for not only the people who rock with me, but also for myself. Because the more that I can create a safe space for myself, the more that I can show up. Social media is a very scary world. Very scary world. Okay? At any point, someone can come out of their mouth and disrespect you. Right? Somebody can take something that you did completely wrong. And so I create for the people that I was supposed to serve. And I can't just leave them on Instagram, YouTube, all of that stuff, because if that was to go down, all the hard work that we did to create this connection, the hours we spend on these lives and the conversations and everything like that, that would be for nothing if I just left it on YouTube, right? So there has to be another place where people feel safe. Now, those people who are inside of Lions Behavior, let the chat know how the community is, right? Let the chat know how the community is, regardless if you are consistent or not, right? We have people who are posting every single day the behaviors, right? We have people who are testing out like the new GPT that I created because they have the hat before it comes out to public, right? Deeper Than the Brand, we have people who are testing out different content formats, testing out different platforms because they feel safe in that place. As brands, we have the responsibility to create a world that makes people feel seen, safe, and heard. That's a fact. That is our responsibility. Once we start posting and people start liking and starting engaging and starting to subscribe to what we do, we have the responsibility to make them feel seen, safe, and heard. If I never acknowledged y'all wouldn't rock with me. If I didn't hear what you needed and create the content that you needed, y'all wouldn't rock with me, right? It would be short-lived. You wouldn't be watching up to 3 hours, almost 4 hours now, right? And so for you to post consistent, it's more than just let me post consistently and answer the comments. It is more about you are serving a need that a person may not have known they had. You're fulfilling a desire that someone was searching for. And though most of the people, like I have 108 people watching now. I don't have 108 people in the chat, but I have 108 people watching now, right? That doesn't mean just because they're not saying anything doesn't mean I'm not impacting them. I'm not talking to them, right? They watch even from the background. And if you're watching in the background from the TV, whatever, and you haven't said anything, just type 1. Because I just want to say, I see you and I acknowledge you. And because of y'all is the reason why we have, the platform that we have. We're able to upgrade in the way that we do, right? But because of the people who are in the background, the people who may not be so active in chatting and things like that, but they feel safe coming every single week. They feel safe watching the videos. They feel eventually after watching maybe a month or 2 or 3 or whatever, they may comment, right? And I do it for that. I do it because as an introvert, I know how it is to be doubted. I know how it is in this creative space to not be seen because we rely on social media metrics. And so I wanted to create a space that's like, yo, Nicky, I got an idea. That's a fire idea. Let's do it. Right? Nicky, I created this. That's fire. I would tweak this. Let's go. Right? Nicky, can you look at my page? No doubt. We'll do that. Right? See, shout out to Donald. And Donald, I don't know if you saw from the replay, I think from the last live I played your video. You know what I mean? I'm watching you all the time. Thank you. You feel me? And shout out to all the ones. Shout out to all the ones. One, only because I'm working and watching on TV. That's fair. That's fair. I'm with that. I'm absolutely with that. You feel me? Shout out to Bruce. I see you. Matt, you in the chat though. Matt be in the chat. Shout out to Todd. I mean, so whether you're an introvert, whether you're an ambivert, which is both, and that's mainly my community. That's who I speak to. That's where my heart is. No, like, I love my extroverts, but y'all got it. You know what I mean? Like, y'all got it. But I want to be able for the introverts and the overlooked creators to feel like, yo, I could do this. I could use these tools to still be my authentic self, right? I could still show up on these platforms as me and I'm accepted. Me personally don't try to be anybody different. I don't try to be a character because I was here to serve certain people. So that's my answer to your stuff. You know what I mean? Can you talk about Sproutable in the future live? I'll look that up. I never heard of that. You know what I mean? I'm a Mando. What that mean? I'm not only talking to females. I'm an introvert extrovert. I'm a Mando. I'm trying to get I'm a Mando. I'm trying to figure that part out. I promise you, majority of I'm 50-50 on females and males. You know what I mean? I'm 50-50. Anyways, what's Doc say? Doc said, thanks for the TikTok link. Upon checking that out, it's worse than I thought. Listen, it's a deeper hole. It's a conversation that needs to continue to be had, and I do hope Tim addresses it. But it is what it is. Yeah, I think I could be both. I'm glad to know that there's a middle. Yeah, that's for sure. Anyways, let me head out. Everybody drop some lions, LBs, fire emojis, whatever you want to do. It's almost 1 a.m. over here. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Marie said, hold on, let me see. It's been a while, but I wanted to say I haven't forgotten this amazing team. But I wanted to say hello. Hey, come on. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Can you talk about your thoughts on faceless pages and channels again? Absolutely. Come to the next live and I got you. Okay? This is all I need. Hold on. I'm not asking for anything. Shout out to everybody who's hit the super chats. I think we got like 12 super chats today. I believe we do. We have like 12 super chats today. Remember, I don't make no money off these lives because of how the copyright situation and we share videos. So if you really got value from this, super chat, super sticker, super thanks is much appreciated. But here's one thing I need. I did a different type of video this week. Okay, I did a different type of video, and YouTube didn't show you, cause I know this, cause y'all didn't show up. So, I did this video right here. Introvert survives public speaking in 10 minutes. Right? I've been trying to change the title and all of that stuff. Right? Oops, why is it downloading? I don't want it to download. Hold on. I'm gonna give y'all the link. Please watch this video if you haven't. Please share it, okay? I wanted to try more behind the scenes. So this shows more of my time at Atlanta and all the tips I gave over there and the BET experience, right? So I show you inside of me going to BET. So that it's a fire video. Go check it out. Type P for promise that you're going to watch it and all of that amazing stuff. I will see y'all next week. Okay. Shout out to Poppy AI. That link is in the description. Okay. Like and share her video. Come on. Like and share her videos. Okay. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all been amazing. Y'all rocked with me for almost 4 hours, right? And I appreciate that more than anything. Until next week, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. What am I going to say? What am I going to say?